Motorsport here for the next round of the season. It is week 3, which means that is rounds 5 and 6. I'm your host, Mathew Duffin, joined in the commentary box by my co-commentator this evening and this season. It is PNMotorsport. PN, welcome back to the commentary box. It's great to see you here. We're at this famous Nurburgring circuit. What are we in for tonight?
Oh, cheers, Matt. Yeah, but Nurburgring, there won't be Mr. Dark in the race. But I'm expecting chaos. Not going to lie, because we had it last week in Zolder. Nearly 30 cars, I believe, we've got starting tonight.
I believe there should be the full 30 in the allocation tonight's grid. We currently have 28 out there, so 2 drivers left to get onto the grid. It's been fantastic so far, and what a change to go to the PS5, because PM, that really has seemed to help bring the drivers in, as well as obviously work behind the scenes by admins to get the drivers in. It's been a fantastic start to this season. Good sized grids and great battles up and down, and tonight is going to be another tricky challenge. Obviously, we're not at the famous Nordschleife. That'll potentially be on our endurance calendar later this year. Stick around on the Discord or social media for that one. But we're at the Nurburgring GP part of the circuit, which itself is a very tricky, challenging track.
Yeah, it is quite tricky. It's not very often very warm here either, so tyre heat up would be critical. Still, I actually like the Nurburgring, even the Grand Prix circuit. I really enjoy it. Don't know why. Even though this part, mainly 30 second through the Mercedes Arena, as it's called, is a bit Mickey Mousey, to be honest. But you know, they did it just to keep the Grade 1, FIA Grade 1, so that's why they had to do it.
Now, one man who is an expert around this circuit was the man you just saw on your screen. Dan Davis has taken 2 pole positions and 4 race wins. He is the most successful driver at the Nürburgring circuit. He's an absolute beast around here. Gary131 is no slouch himself. He's got 1 pole position to 3 race wins. But Dan coming from the back of the grid, it's a big reverse grid. Dan's actually coming, I've managed to keep the notes on screen this week. Dan's coming from 24th on the grid. To be the most successful driver, he's got his work cut out in race 1, hasn't he?
He has a bit, yeah, and with only 20 minutes to get anything done, and heaven forbid if you get hit, or be hit by someone on the grass. Mentioning no names, myself. Yeah, in Pro-Am last night. Oops. But, I've lost my train of thought. Having you to that.
As we see our Nash out on the track, 154.6. He's just done in his Lamborghini Evo 2, so 7 tenths quicker than Dan Davis. And we can tell you that with Dan Davis starting 4th on the grid, the championship standings look a little like this. And for the first time since the very first race week at SimPlay Motorsport, nearly 3 years ago now, I reckon, Mike Matthews leads the championship, 9 points clear of his teammate Dan Davis, who is sat then in 2nd place. 36 points behind is R. Nash, currently down in 3rd. Gary Leach, who I believe is now in the session. There he is, up 28 cars. He's currently sat in P4 with Alex P5 in the championship in his Aston Martin. So for an older car, P5 in the championship, going really, really well at the moment.
Are we talking about the V12 Aston?
No, we're talking about Alex Powell's Aston.
Yeah, that's a Mercedes in fancy British clothes, isn't it? Really?
After Alex in the championship then comes the man who was the current PS5 defending champion, that is Joe. Then it is Ramy Fernie, whose name I cannot see on the list. He is there, he's P10. He's then currently sat in 7th place at the moment. The man who's on his 100th appearance, he's not yet gone out in free practice. He's waiting for the track, I assume, to be optimum. He likes the track to be optimum before showing his pace. Overtaker, 100th race in race 1 tonight. He is then on 98 points in P8. Clouden. Now you'll notice that Clouden is part of the Greasy Bandit Racing stable and a part of their roster. He is in P9 in the championship at the moment before we head. He's just moved up to P5 in the standings as well tonight. Sky Schundelmeyer then, P10 overall. good night for Sky last week out at the Zolder circuit. You know, he's looking for another back-to-back race wins after a disaster. Sorry, not back-to-back race wins, back-to-back race results, good results after a disastrous Donington. It says El Damon, but we're just going to call him Luke because that is his name. Luke is back. Obviously, was unsure if he'd be here for this week, but he is back. He's currently sat P11. Luke will be going from the back of the grid, though, in race 1, and we'll be going from a qualifying ban as well in race 2. That is due to penalties against him in the week. Just after Luke then is Simon Blair, who's having a good session at the moment, up in P6, the Scotsman for the Highest Munchers. Sheary then is down in P13. He's currently not set a lap time either in this free practice session before Duffin, whose name I cannot see on that list at the moment. So he's one of the drivers that are not in. Paolo then rocks up on that list as well. He's also not set a lap time. He is out on track. He's currently P15 in the championship. Just before, a guy who's struggling, Andrew Taylor, P16, but he hasn't looked... Well, both of the two old dams, really. Him and Graham Sutcliffe haven't looked confident, have they, this season so far?
No, they haven't. No, they probably won't come back to the welcoming arms of Pro-Am. Oh.
Just behind him then is Den Brave, P17. He is not here tonight. Then it is Graham, not yet set a lap time. He is currently down in P18 in the championship. Another man having to serve a qualifying ban due to retirement last week is that of Darren Yeo. Now, this is the first of the what was Vesser Racing Team drivers. Darren Yeo, he's not on the track, he's in the pits. The camera's not picking him up though. Is now under the name of Effect Motorsport. Him and Dennis Newman have had to change team names. Not sure if it is a change of livery. We'll see when we get down to Dennis. And Kuti is not here tonight. He is P20. The beautiful sounding V12 of De Hoffner is P16 at the moment. There it is, the beautiful roar of the V12 engine from that Aston Martin. De Hoffner is 21st in the championship. Sam, not a bad debut for Sam last week. He's part of the new team, Team FBR. He goes from 22nd, no losser. He is P23. Paul Williams is then next on the grid. He's P20 in his Lamborghini. Stage 2 Motorsport, another new team to the grid. Yes, they've got points. They've teamed up with drivers that have already scored points. So we've added them to the constructors, which we'll get to in a few moments' time. Clauble, another man who was on a debut last week. He's currently 10th fastest in his Porsche. He is 25th in the championship. S2M Borough Bex, he's down in 14th place at the moment, but is currently 26th in the standings. H. Costa is then down in 22nd on the night, but he's 27th in the standing. Then it is Dennis Newman. Now, where we find Dennis Newman in the pits, there you see the new livery for Dennis Newman and Darren Yeo tonight. So that is where they'll be going. Couple of new drivers to mention. Obviously, Tech Leader, he's back for his first race and his first outing in his Mercedes-Benz. Great to see Tech Leader back on the grid in this one, PN. He's a guy who was a real talent last season in the Pro, real force to be reckoned with towards them latter parts of the season as well. Great to see Tech Leader back with us.
It is, well, former AM champion as well. Yeah, with Baraba. So very close season. I'm not bitter.
Tech Leader then is currently 32nd in the championship, but because Tech Leader's been registered from day one, he will start on pole. The new drivers will start behind him. The new drivers being that then of, let's find one on the track at the moment. Graham will go. Now we have the problem that Dan has on a Wednesday night of Dean and Dean. We have Graham and Graham. They are spelt different. That is the bonus. They're also in different cars and everything else. Graham is currently in the pits. He's obviously new to the championship this season. He's the other part of the Team FBR drivers. Just looking down my page here to see if I can see any other of the new drivers. Jay Ward, he's brand new. Car 42 in his Ferrari 296. A lot of Ferraris on the grid now. Probably the best one, and one that if Micro J's is listening to, he's probably waiting for us. But we've got Shaggy on the grid. And the reason why Jays is probably listening out for that is because he's waiting for the Scooby-Doo reference. Well, he'll have to wait a little bit longer, and we might do it. We might do it if he overtakes. Scrappy-Doo, wrong one, but hey, same program.
Shaggy was still in Scooby.
Shaggy was still in Scrappy-Doo as well. Yeah, you're true. That's true.
Rookies. There you go.
As well on the grid then we have the Graham, we have Jamie Ward. Gowney is not able to race tonight, although there is only 28 drivers, but his grid position won't be set. And Paul P. Mueller, who will not be here. Garvin did not confirm, which means we have lost Garvin from the championship this season. What we have at the moment, PN, is we have a pro category that is full, near enough. I'll tell you how many full-time seats there are for pro, as well as pro-am, meaning that reserves now are starting to find less and less chances. There is 28 in each, meaning that at the moment only 2 reserves can race. If people then can't race, then it is all fine.
Yeah, I just had a message, so I was just checking that quickly, sorry. Absolute pro commentator here. I'm not. What was it you said?
On about the amount of drivers in the category.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. I think it helps having crossplay now as well, because we've got all these Xbox drivers with us. Now, if you can imagine, we could have No, let's not have PC.
No, yeah, we saw that trouble
No,
with
let's
F1.
not have PC.
Yeah, no.
Nintendo Switch port, anyone?
What, with your little Mario Kart steering wheels?
Yeah, that's it.
That'd be absolutely brilliant. Evening, though, to everybody in the chat. We'll say evening to Tracy in there as well. Good evening to you. Autumn Lynn in there. Woohoo, I'm Sky's wife. Let's go. Well, great to have you here. Simon Blair is with us. Project Audi. Clouding is fast in game and slow on the streets, he says. Fury's mum is here. Good evening to Fury's mum, Max Mulder, as well as Micro J's in the chat. So great to see everybody in there. We are going to get a poll up for who you think is going to be the race one winner, but we do have 9.5 minutes left, which means the constructors' standings look a little like this. SimPlay Racing are 130 points clear of BTC Jaeger Racing of Gary and Sky Shundlemere. Haggis Munches of Simon Blair and Raimi Fernie are then P3. They're 159 points behind. JB Racing of Nash on his own, 137 points. Ottinger All Stars P5 with 2 old Ams in P6. Red Run Racing of Joe as an independent are P7. Button Basher Racing of Overtaker P8. Effect Motorsport, the new team of Daz and Dennis, currently P9. BDM Motorsport of Paolo P10. Stage 2 Motorsport is P11 with FBR P12 and Greasy Bandit Racing bringing up the rear. Now, PN, a little thing... Greasy Bandit are actually ahead of Effect Motorsport. I've not reconfigured that. So they're all ahead of Effect Motorsport. Effect Motorsport are 10th, BDM 11th, Stage 2 12th, Team FBR 13th. Manufacturers looks like this. It's McLaren from BMW, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Porsche, Mercedes, Bentley, Aston Martin, Audi, Honda, Lexus, Jaguar, Nissan, Retia. PN.
Yeah.
Effect Motorsport. They've obviously changed their name from Vesa Racing due to reasons that we won't go into. 3 retirements in the team. We know the rule of 3 retirements brings you minus 25 points. That isn't as a team, that is as a singular driver. Dennis Newman has 2 to his name. Daz has 1 from last week. In the team game, that's not ideal.
It isn't really, is it? When there's still quite a lot of races left of the season. We're not at the halfway mark. That's Alton Park. Ooh, what a place for a halfway point of the season. Ooh. And 30 cars in Alton Park. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Yeah. And it's Britain in
March.
In early March. It's gonna be wet, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it's going to be wet. In fact, would it be more mid-March? Let's take a look at the calendar.
It's more mid-March.
No, actually, no, it is early March. It'll be the 6th of March, because Imola is next week, and then it is Alton Park. We are on the week 3 of the season, so big chance for drivers to score some huge points tonight. Let's talk about Mike Matthews. What a start to the season. Not won a race yet. Currently 5th fastest overall, within a second of Nash. But he's been brilliant this year, really, hasn't he? And he stepped up his game teaming with Dan Davis. You kind of have to step up your game teaming with a 7-time champion. Nash coming in as a quick driver. You got all the other new drivers as well as Overtaker there. Mike stepped up his game this season.
He has, and I think he really likes the Ferrari 296 as well. I think the 296 suits him. So that's really helping get the confidence in the car.
Do you think that's Mike's biggest thing? Because obviously we saw with Project Cars 2, he drove Mercedes for a lot of years, then went to Ferrari for the back end of it. He had a season in the Ferrari at the start of ACC. He then changed to the Honda, where Mike seemed to get quicker and more consistent in the Honda. Do we feel that going back to the Ferrari with the new 296 model has been the best decision for Mike?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah, well, I know one car that may be coming out in the next not in the GT2 pack, but in the when we get the Nordschleife, I think there'd be one car that he'd definitely be jumping to for the next season, and that would be the Mustang.
Well, yeah, this is all provided. Obviously, we know at the moment that today we had the announcement, the big announcement of last month, the end of January, GT2s with the Red Bull Ring came to PC. Normally, you'd have been looking around the end of April, May time, normally, for console to get the GT2 pack on the console. We're getting it next week. I do believe the 27th was the day it was released, which is next Tuesday. We get the GT2 pack. So that is huge in itself. Like you say, the Nordschleife comes out, I believe it's coming out around May, June, July for PC, which could mean, around June, July, August for console. And so we're led to believe. We know we're getting the Nordschleife come with it. We also believe that we're going to be getting the new Ford Mustang GT3, the Aston Martin V8 Evo GT3, and the rumour is the Corvette. Now, the Corvette is the outside shot. The other two seem a pretty dead cert, but again, nothing was announced about the track for the GT2 pack until the day before.
No, and here you go, have a Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, here you go, here's the GT2 pack. Oh, by the way, we've gave you this circuit.
It'd be nice to have more circuits because, yeah, and well, this is a GT game, really, so
yeah.
Don't expect any Le Mans prototypes in here.
No, but what we get to expect is we're getting now the Nordschleife, which, for Endurance Series will be fantastic. We get the Red Bull Ring, which is going to be huge. When you think then of, the tracks we've already got, and let's not forget, SimPlay Motorsport, we haven't done 4 tracks yet. Alton Park's brand new to SimPlay Motorsport for the GT3s. We did it in the Porsche Cup. We've not done Valencia. We've not done Watkins Glen, Circuit of the Americas or Indianapolis. Red Bull Ring's now added. So that's, after the end of the season, that's 5 tracks that we've not yet touched. Meaning that the more tracks that get added, it just adds to that excitement of what will the calendar look like next season.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have a sprint season on the Nordschleife because that'd be rage-inducing.
The Nordschleife would just be purely for endurance racing.
Because those who have played the Nordschleife on other racing games will know it punishes you. You make a mistake, it will. And if you haven't got any fast option to return to the pits and then come back out again after you repaired your damage, it's game over. Yeah. It's crucifying.
Yeah. It really, really is.
But then again, though, that's why it's called Green Hell. That's why it's the way it is. Hell of a circuit, but Overtake has just moved up to P8.
Yeah, I was going to say, Overtake's moved up to P8, but the top 3, Clouden. Good bit of pace from him as he's in the pits. Dan Davis as well, only a 10th and a half off the back of Nash, so good pace for drivers out here. Overtake is now just over a second behind. Who are we looking out for tonight then, PN? Who's your driver you feel like we should be watching, keeping an eye on?
Well, these are the sort of conditions that Joe likes, because they're nice and slippy. He likes to get the back end of his car out a little bit. Nash is rapid. Dan's going to be up there. Clouden is looking impressive so far. So is Mike Mathews.
He is indeed, his Overtaker moves. Gio, I believe, just moved into P9 there.
Joe's in the pit lane.
P8, oh no, so it was Ramey? It was Smokey. Smokey moved into P7.
So Rainey Fermi has moved up. So it's going to be an interesting night tonight, I think. But with 28 cars out there, those starting at the back, or even with the
two drivers. Who's the 2 drivers not yet with us? That's the question to look at.
It was 2 of the reserves.
Duffin I can't see.
There's no Duffin and
I've not seen Marshall.
No.
So they're the 2 that aren't yet in. The grid order then will be like this, provided everybody joins the lobby. Tech leader will go from Pole with Dennis Newman 2nd, Costa P3, Borough Bex will be P4, Clarbel P5, Paul Williams 6th, Sam 7th, Dorfner in 8th with Darren Yo 9th, Graham Sutcliffe will be P10, Andrew Taylor 11th, Paolo 12th, DeFish should be 13th, he's got to get in the lobby though, Sherry 14th, Simon Blair P15, Sky Schundelmeyer 16th, Jay Clouden will be 17th, Overtaker 18th, Amy Fernie 19th, Joe 20th, Alex 21st, Gary Leach 22nd, Nash 23rd, Dan Davis 24th, Mike Matthews P25 with Luke 26th, Shaggy 27th, Marshall should be 28th provided he gets in, Graham 29th, and Ward will be down that bottom end of the pack. Who's not yet set a lap time? Graham Sutcliffe has been out there a while and he's not set a lap time. He is going to get one more in. Just looking at the timetable, how many laps has Graham done? Now, interesting reading up there as well. Graham's done 5 laps, yet set a valid one. Just looking at the reading at the top of the timetable there, look. Now, that is not based off of their fastest laps. That is based off of their best sector times to their best lap. So that the sector times you see there for Nash and Dan is not what would make that lap time. But Dan is the quickest through sector 1 and 2, loses 87 thousandths in sector 3.
That's breaking for the chicane, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is down to being how brave you are under the brakes into the chicane. And whether to ride the curbs or not, because they can launch you.
Drivers finishing their laps. Gary's on an invalid one, so his won't count. Simon Blair's coming to the line. He's going to stay P6. The next car is that of Darren Yo. Again, I'm stood up once again for the commentary, so the mic sounds better. So, can't quite see the driver numbers. I am looking at Perchin, one of them desks that lift up. They can come with me then, so I'm not stood above my monitors.
Oh, the one that you can raise up on the button.
Yep.
What are they called?
Yeah, floating desks, I thought there was, but they're not. Darren Yo stays P14. Dan Davis next to the chicane. And then it is car 12. The others are not going to get a lap. So it's Dan Davis, then it's going to be Graham Sutcliffe. So we won't get to see where Dan is because we're on the camera ready to change to Graham. So we'll be able to see where Dan goes as we cross the line. I think Dan has just gone P1 because I saw a few times change. He has gone P1 by 1/10 and a half. And Graham comes across the line. And we get the qualifying. Now, for those who was we get the race. For those who was interested in where Graham went, 24th. There we go. Right, Pierre, got to push you. Race 1 winner.
Ooh. Well, this will be a tough one. Can they survive all the way through? Who can survive is a snap missing on the grid. That'll be where the Fizz is meant to start.
That'll be where the Fizz is, yeah. And there's another one further back where Marshall's meant to start.
Yeah, so... If Tech can clear away, maybe Tech leader?
Do you know what? I was thinking the exact same thing.
If Tech can get away from Dennis... Maybe Tech leader, but then S2M, he's fair way up.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Exactly what I was thinking. Oh, I can just see Daz's livery there. Now it's daylight. Lined up the Sutty and Dennis Newman. And that actually looks pretty smart. Sorry, that's Sutty and Monkey Boy. That actually looks pretty smart from Daz there. The black and red, and I believe that's grey or a silvery colour. A lot of smart cars on the grid this season, Pierre.
But the best cars there,
yeah, but if we're talking colours, if we're talking the colours, not the car, the colours, what would you kind of go for at the moment?
Green.
The Porsche on screen now, that of Clarbel.
Yeah, it's a bit like the Sauber.
Yeah, I'm digging that. I'm digging that.
I quite like the Sauber, not gonna lie.
Oh, it looks beautiful in testing. It looks absolutely beautiful in testing.
I'm going to say it, because Hypertech would be disappointed if I don't say it, because of last season when I said about the colours of his car, it is very Monster Energy colours.
I'm going to give a shout out to Nash and Overtaker. I like a pink car. I think they're beautiful. I also like Gary and Tibbs's colours. Am I biased because I've kind of gone a similar colour because of the Jaeger? Possibly. But I like them. But I have to agree, Clarbell's looks a good car. Right, you've got 4 drivers in the chat you can vote for. If you don't want to vote for them drivers, make sure you put in the comments who you would like to see or think will win this race. Tech leader Dan Davis, Overtaker, or Graham are your 4 options. If you don't believe that any of them are going to win, you would like to see somebody else, make sure you you type in the comments who you think. Come on, Effect Motorsport, says Micro J's in the chat. That'll be cheering on Daz Automatic and Dennis Newman. Now, we have to go over it. Season 1 was the Nurburgring. It was the last time I commentated or raced around the Nurburgring on ACC. And we got to this corner here where Tech Leader is now, and Bozzy Boy, who was falling asleep on the commentary, was saying about how the fans get covered by the drivers throwing animal mud at them. So we hope that the drivers do not fling any animal mud tonight. And we also hope for the other one.
Debut as well.
Yeah, that's when you took over for the second race, after we watched 15 minutes of De Silva. Also, we hope that the drivers do not go wrecking any warehouses, like Bozzy Boy said, as well. So,
and then we had, what, 15 minutes of De Silva?
Yeah, followed by 15 minutes of De Silva, because Bozzy Boy was in charge of cameras, and then we had to take... what a kerfuffle. But that was 3 seasons ago. This is now. And we are getting ready to go racing. Let me see. No, can't change the camera angle. Right. So you going fully Tech Leader, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to go Tech Leader.
Yeah, I'm gonna join you there. I'm gonna go Tech Leader as well. I think though that Daz and Dennis could be an outside shot from where they start on the grid.
It could be, yeah, but they can't get through turn 1 and then turn 2.
Well, this is the bonus. Them lot are at the front of the grid, whereas drama happens mid-pack from behind. So, you know, it's going to be interesting. Nobody's missed the start, unlike last night. I do believe we have lost a driver. We're down to 27.
We are down to 27.
So we have lost one. Tech Leader, though, will take everybody away. On his first race of the season, it is Overtaker's 100th race.
I believe it's Clouden. No, Clouden's there. I see him. Oh, I'm blind. They're not bad colours, though, on Clouden's McLaren. To be honest, quite nice.
Yeah, I do quite
Very
like
Benetton. It reminds me of a Benetton.
Dean would like it. It's blue and yellow.
It does remind me a bit of the old Benettons from 92, 93. I'm partial to the old Benettons. Don't know why.
Right, they've rounded the final corner. We're about to go racing here for the first race tonight. Who will win this one? Good luck, says Ian Gray in the chat. Great to see Ian here supporting us. It is green and go. It is a drive-through penalty. That is for core 11. It's Mike Matthews, the championship leader, who's got a drive-through penalty. Dennis Newman with a great launch over Tech Leader. Down in towards turn 1 they come. He's already covered off Tech, and it all looks relatively clean at the front end of the pack. As the camera pans around to turn 2, it still looks pretty clean. Duffin had a spin, says PNMotorsport. We're watching Tech Leader side by side, though, with that looks to be Clawball, who's got up the inside, and Dennis Newman, after a great start, leads this race, dropping down the pack, though. Here is Paolo, and it is so congested. That is Sherry round. I believe Luke was off there as well. We're on board with Joe. He's got a scuff on the front end of his car as well. So a bit of damage here. It looks like he's tapped the back of somebody. Not sure who is Mike Matthews. He's got a drive-through penalty. That is going to be absolutely cruel as we get through towards Sector 1. Dennis Newman is the man leading them away. They'll all drop to the bottom of the screen and come back up the pile. So it is Dennis Newman from Clawball, from Tech Leader. I tell you what, we'll just wait till they all pop up. Let's go towards Ward, who's got a big bit of damage on his car. Not sure who he is near, but Sherry was involved. Dan Davis has been involved in another drama at the start of this race. He's well off the pack.
Yeah, but you think Mike's got to have his drive-through and then come back in again. It's a disaster for the SimPlay Racing boys.
It is a disaster then. So Dennis Newman leads from Clawball, from Tech Leader with Borough Bex. Then it is Sam. Well, I think Sam. Then Andrew Taylor, Darren Yost P7, Graham Sutcliffe. Then it is not Paolo, it is Sky Shundlemeyer who is having a look. But I tell you what, Graham was having a look there on the back of Darren Yo, and as they come down towards the chicane here, Graham's going to look up the inside. Not really an overtaking opportunity. I thought he nearly tapped the back of Darren Yo there as they all come flying through the chicane. Then it is Sky, then it is Clouden, Paolo, overtakers up to 12. Simon Blair's 13th. He's got Gary Leach going very deep at the final corner, looking around the outside. Nash and Gary, did they just rub doors a little bit there? Nash up the inside of Gary as Gary went deep, and that then means Gary loses out. It is then Raimi Fernie, who's now looking up the inside of Gary in towards turn 1. On the brakes they go. Joe's thinking about to move as well. On the brakes hard, up the inside, Raimi Fernie. Gary keeps it around the outside. He'll have the inside line for turn 2. Great racing from the pair. Yes, he does. Then it is Paul Williams, Luke, De Hoffner, Dan Davis, Alex Powell's in the pits. He's in the pits. Was he in before the pit window? I believe he was. Mike's in for his drive-through penalty. Sherry, Shaggy, James Ward. I believe it's James Ward. Then it is Graham at the back of the pack. Pit window not yet open, but already drama's happening. Oh, Mike! It's gone from bad to worse for the championship leader, PN.
Yeah, and Alex just cut pit exit to go round the back of round him, so we're going to be putting that in. He cut the white line on pit exit to get them.
The rule state though it's got to be caught on the stream. We didn't catch that one on the stream, so Mike will probably put that one in. But for your championship leader, it is a disastrous start. Andrew Taylor, we said about how much we feel like he struggled this season. He gets the Schumacher S's a little wrong, but he's flying at the moment. Darren Yeo is attacking that of Sam, looking up the inside. He's got Sky Schundelmeyer with him as well. Darren Yeo up the inside. Oh, contact made. Now, was that from Darren Yeo? Not quite sure, but that is Sooty off. And Sky Schundelmeyer up the inside. P8 for him now. So Darren Yeo, contact there now. Cloudon's all of a sudden up the rear wing, and that is Overtaker having a look up the inside then of the Aston Martin of Sam. He's got Sooty just behind him, who's having a good old look, but Sooty can't do anything about it. Nash patiently waiting on here. And where's Dan Davis? He's making it work. Oh, Nash! Nash and Sooty! They've touched on pit entry! PN, what actually happened there? I didn't see what happened with Nash.
I didn't see it, and then Nash has been hit by another Lamborghini. Which Lamborghini was that? I think it was Williams who tagged with Nash.
Well, Graham's in, Paolo's in, Dan Davis is in, Gary Leach is in. I'm sure Mike Matthews is going to be coming in for his stop-go penalty. It's all gone horribly wrong. An Overtaker all of a sudden at the minute is now sitting pretty at the front of the pack, or near the front of the pack, and looks good value for his money in this first race.
Yeah, Dennis has got about a 1.5 second lead though from Clavel. Then we've got S2M Boabex in third. Tech leader's fourth, probably a bit race rusty because it's his first race of the season.
Clavel posts the fastest lap of the race. Sorry, Pian, just watching this fight between Cloud and with Overtaker on the back of him. They're catching onto the rear wing of Darren Yeo. And no can do there. That is pretty close between them. Just dropping down Simon Blair. He's close to the back of Sam. Raimi Fernie's close to the back of Joe. Joe's got some big damage though to the front of his BMW there. It looks like he hit somebody early on. We didn't see what he'd hit. He just his car looks battered and scuffed.
Yeah, as he
he's wrong.
Yeah,
he's got it wrong. And Raimi's got a great run to go around the outside. He might have that done in the braking zone. He turns in contact again. A BMW once again making contact at that complex. And they both managed to hang on to it, but that is more damage for Joe and more damage for Raimi Fernie.
Yep. Well, if Joe's not happy, he's flashing his lights.
We're currently on board that of Nash. Stop-go cleared for Mike Matthews, but that is race one over for him. Graham's still in the pits, though, I believe. That is still saying he's in the pit lane. That is the wrong Graham.
But both Grahams. Both FBR Graham is now exiting pit lane.
Oh, Nash in the pits just as we go on board him. I believe that was a pit entry cut.
I didn't see it.
Oh, no!
Oh, he's just rear-ended. What? Come on.
Zolder, anyone?
Yeah, that was worse than Zolder.
Nash has rear-ended a car, slowing down for the pit lane speed limiter. We're on board with Sky Schundelmeyer here, right on the back of Andrew Taylor, who's on the back of Tech Leader as they come down towards turn 5 then. So we're seeing dramas. Once again, Overtaker's done his pit stop. He's done and gone. And for Nash here then, big damage already to his car.
Yeah, as Clavel's only a tenth or so closing in on Dennis Newman.
Yeah, fastest lap still for Clavel. We're watching this battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. Where did Darren Yeo? He's P8. I believe he's been passed by Clouden. There's Darren Yeo. Raimi Fernie's on the back of Sam as well. Yeah, just looking at who's pitted. Overtake Simon Blair, Joe. They have all pitted.
Hello, Gary. Graham.
Yeah,
Dan
so is Paolo
Davis
Graham,
pitted.
Dan Davis, and the other Graham. Williams still in the pits. Nash still in the pits. Sky on the inside of Andrew Taylor. That was never going to work from Sky there. He's been tapped around. He's only lost out to Clouden. He went for a gap that was just closing all the time. It was a little silly, that, from Sky.
Yeah, I was watching back through the field because Paolo's on the back of Simon Blair for P18.
We've got Darren Yo and Raimi Fernie hunting this pack down. Darren has a bit of a wiggle out the chicane. Nothing from him. Nobody else is diving into the pit lane here. Apologies. De Hoffner does. Here comes Sherry and Shaggy. They both stay out on the track. What about Ward, who looks like he's had damage from the beginning? He's also going to stay out, is he? Camera pans around. No, he's in the pits. Alex Powell still to pit. Williams still in the pits. Mike Mathew still got to pit. Mike's race well and truly ruined.
Yeah, but as I've been with motor racing, you have good races and you have bad races.
Sky up the inside at turn 3. Good move on Cloud and that, and gives him the room for the turn 4. Sky, good job that one this time from Sky there. Brilliant move that on Clouden. Evening to Pete will step that in the chat. What racing we're seeing in these GT3s so far this year. It's been absolutely brilliant. Andrew Taylor slowly trying to work his way to tech leader, but he's trying to defend as well from Clouden and Schundelmeyer here. As De Hoffner's out of the pits, Ward still in the pits. Alex Powell now does the fastest lap of the race, but hasn't pitted yet. Gap out front, staying around 1.3 seconds, OPN.
Yeah, it's... Dennis is holding steady, isn't he, up front in his M4?
Oh, now we've missed Sky getting past Andrew Taylor. So Sky's got past him here then. And Andrew Taylor now under some pressure from this of Cloud and the new Greasy Bandit Racing driver looking up the inside of Andrew Taylor. No, backs out that one. Darren Yo right on the back of this pack as well here, PN. Darren looking racy tonight.
Yeah. Needs a good result after the shock of it was last week at Zolder.
Great move.
Drivers had a shocker.
Great move, Clouden. Darren Yo now looking on the back of Monkey Boy. He's probably not going to get this one done at the chicane, and you see Darren there just brakes really early compared to the other two. Didn't want to get involved in that. That so brought Smokey Devil onto the back of him, and Daz, probably wisely here, chooses to go into the box. But so does Andrew Taylor, so does Clouden, so does Sky Schundelmeyer. Borough Bex is in there as well, so it's just the leaders who have all gone through. Sam stays out. Luke is also coming into the pit. Sherry stays out. What about Shaggy? So does he. Alex Powell, fastest lap of the race. Great. He's not pitted yet, though.
No. Race 1 winner back at Zolder.
Yeah.
You've got to remember with Alex Powell.
Race 1 winner back at Zolder. We've got Dan Davis, apologies. He's 2.7 off the back of De Hoffner. De Hoffner 9/10 off the back of Gary.
S2M's dropped. He's now away.
A lot of them's dropped. Luke's dropped. Yeah, Luke's dropped. Sky's dropped. Jamal dropped. Andrew Taylor's dropped. So is Darren. I think Luke there has gained a bit over Daz, to be fair, coming into the pit lane.
Not bad considering he started right at the back.
Well, let me put it this way. Was that because of the traffic? Daz had to slow down so he didn't rear-end anybody. Luke had a bit of a clear entry to the pits. Was he a little quicker coming in?
He's jumped on his teammate, De Hoffner, and he's in front of Gary.
He is just in front of Gary. So where was Gary? Gary was 18th, so Luke's come out P17 here. But still, with Alex Powell, Shaggy Sherry, and the top 5 all still to pit. Interesting. Dennis Newman's gap's come down 3/10. Clawball is within that second of him. Going to jump back down to Andrew Taylor. Those within a second of Clouden. I don't think he is anymore. I think that one is gone.
Fastest lap, Dan Davis.
Fastest lap, Dan Davis. Graham, I think, has been overtaken by Nash now. Williams hasn't done his stop. I've seen him in the pits, but apparently he hasn't done his pit stop. Clawball within 0.6 of a second to Dennis Newman. Dennis Newman's in the pits.
Yeah, as Clawball takes the lead for the lovely green and white Porsche. Very nice cars.
Tech Leaders Mercedes. I'm a fan of that as well, the dark green and grey. He stays out.
Did you see the 2Cs Mercedes show yesterday for British GT?
No. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, beautiful looking livery.
Yeah, very nice looking livery.
Sam into the pits. What about Sherry and Shaggy? Both look like they've got a bit of damage. They are both staying out on track. Where he's overtaker, he's coming to the chicane. So overtaker to Dennis Newman. This one's going to be interesting. Dennis needs to drop and go. Evening to Smithy in the chat. No ideas on that one, Smithy. Dennis Newman is now away. So Dennis Newman is away. Here he goes. Where is overtaker? Just coming. I tell you what. Good strategy from Overtaker. He's jumped the net race leader here. Or has he? Yes, he has.
Yes.
Comfortably as well, PN. Overtaker sitting in the box seat.
It's looking... He needed the results tonight.
Oh, Andrew Taylor's back in the pits. What's happened to Monkey Boy? He's back in. Duffin has been passed. Sky Schundelmeyer gets past Alex. Alex is still to pits. Dan Davis now on the back of Gary. Old rivals back in the day of Project Cars Season 3 where they went tooth and nail for the championship.
Yeah, I don't know what Smithy's on about. The Twitch asked one for no mobile number verification. Close it and restart it.
Williams has done his stop. Andrew Taylor's back in the pits. Not sure why. Alex Powell still to pit, as is the top 5. But Overtaker moves out of Dennis Newman. That is crucial. Dan Davis trying to make some moves here. Go back to Alex Powell, who's got a bit of damage to his Aston Martin. Looking on the back of Tibbs. Can't get anything done there. And they're all jumping ahead of Sam. Where did Sam come out here, actually? Did Darren Yeo get him? No, he's just ahead of Darren Yeo. But Dan Davis getting ever so close to Gary Leach. Very close. He wants to be in the boot of that Porsche. We know he likes him. But he wanted to try and get in the boot. Oh, great run. Great run. Sorry, Pierre, a second. Great run from Dan Davis. Cameras pan to the Schumacher crashers. Not sure why. They're side by side. Dan just backed out a little bit. Great racing from the champs in Pro. The 2-time versus the 7-time SimPlay Motorsport champ. Dan tucks back to the inside. Cuts up the inside. Was there a little bit of a contact there? I don't think there was. And this is great racing and Dan's got the job done. Sorry, Pierre, what was you saying?
Well, from my end, it looked like Clark will cut pit entry, but again, no other drivers put in. He's changing tyres. He's lost the lead.
Yeah, he's lost the lead. He's also going to lose second place. Overtaker will be the net race leader. Ramy Fernie still yet to pit. Here comes Dennis Newman and Clark still not dropped. Borough Becks will also get through. What about Sky Schundelmeyer? Sky Schundelmeyer is going to get past him. Shaggy is going to jump a few drivers in the pit lane here. Cloudon's gone through. Simon Blair's gone through. Paolo has gone through. Alex is in the pit. Sam's gone through. Darren Yeo, Damon, Dan Davis, Gary Leach. I tell you what, a few of these drivers in the pits, it's gone horribly wrong for them because these drivers have all gained up places.
Yeah, I just realised, now I can see it. Shaggy's car is in golf colours.
Ah,
yeah, the sky blue, the orange and the black.
Well noticed, Pierre. So Alex Power in the pits. Our Nash now does the fastest lap of the race. Andrew Taylor is 2/10 off of other Graham. Andrew Taylor a little wiggly though. He's 23 seconds out of Mike. Mike down in 26th. That is a nightmare start to his race. Alex Power's got not Sam on the back and waiting for drivers to go through sector 1. But Cloudon's within 9/10 of Sky Schundelmeyer here. These two have had a good fight today.
They have, but no one predicted Overtaker to win this.
No. We didn't say it. Nobody in the chat said it.
No. Oh, there's Smokey's now in the pit lane.
So Smokey comes in. We're currently watching the Sky versus Cloudon battle. Simon Blair not a million miles away. Darren Yeo's actually on the back of Sam here. 0.4 of a second there. Dan Davis is, you see there, on the back of Luke. Dropped Gary Leach. He's on the back of Luke. We've got Joe catching De Hoffner. And we've got Sherry catching Joe. Joe to the outside of De Hoffner. Has to give the space. Does give the space. Good job.
It's not just any car, PN. It's the mystery machine.
It is the mystery machine.
I think there was more of the green, though. Of the bottom colour on the mystery.
Here comes Cloudon's actually lost a bit of time. Simon Blair's gained onto the back of him. Darren Yeo, then we'll jump back to that fight.
I saw a yellow flag caused by...
Dan Davis!
I think that's Joe.
It's Dan Davis! I've just gone on board him 2/10 behind Luke, and Dan Davis with huge front end damage is off.
He's waiting for the cars to go past to go to the pit lane.
He's got big front end damage with 3 minutes left.
Oh,
he is not moving.
Disaster for SimPlay Motorsport.
He's returned to the pits.
Yep. Now Smokey's come out behind Cloudon. He has.
Yeah, so he's dropped down to P5, I do believe. Cloudon will be... Yeah, no, Cloudon will be P5. Smokey will be P6. Smokey's got work to do. Darren Yost on the back of Sam then. Sam having a good race in his Aston Martin, but for Dan Davis, what has gone wrong there? The problem is as well is he's got to get back out on track.
He has to. Things going off everywhere.
So for SimPlay Racing,
lead.
they are having a shocker of a night at the moment.
De Hoffner's in the pits.
De Hoffner's in. Dan Davis is in. What has happened to them two? Ramy Fernie's with an 8/10 to Clouden. Just going to load up downstream. He's got 4 minutes in the pit, so it will not go down as a retirement, but it'll be last place points.
Yeah.
We're currently watching. In fact, Simon Blair's gaining on the back of Smoky Devil as well. We've got Sky catching on Borough Becks. We've got Ramy, the Haggis Munchers, catching on Clouden. We've got Daz gaining. We've got Gary Leach gaining on Luke Damon. And we've got Graham from Two Old Hands catching on Sherry. Shaggy's catching on Graham. Nobody else is really anywhere. Paul Williams will unlap himself, and Dan Davis will be finishing 27th in this race.
That sounds as I said in YouTube chat.
Oh, here we go. Sutty's got past Sherry then, so Graham gets past Sherry. Sherry's got a lot of front end damage on that car. And now this is going to allow Shaggy to have a look into turn one. Up the inside in the Audi. And doesn't get it done. The Lamborghini man is told the position. He's gone a little wide at turn one there, though, and that's going to allow Shaggy to come back and have a look around the outside of turn two.
Damage on the front of Lamborghini.
Very damaged.
The bonnet's up.
Yeah, these two having a good little scrap. Sky gaining on P3. In fact, Sky is P3. He's ahead. Clouden's got Smoky Devil going on the outside down towards the hairpin. Simon Blair is also there. Good little fight this for the podium spots at the minute. Sky Schundelmeyer moves into P3. Clouden keeps hold of P5 at the moment. Ramy Fernie did just get ahead at the sector time. But this is absolutely brilliant.
All over Sam.
We'll drop that down to Sam now as they come through the Schumacher S's. Come up to Schumacher S's. Daz is. He's pretty much pushing him through the Schumacher S's. There he's down. Back to the battle for P3. Sky Schundelmeyer is through. Can he pull away from Borough Becks with Ramy Fernie? Clouden is the one who's actually P5 as they'll go through the set time. That'll update. He's dropped Ramy Fernie and Simon Blair here at the moment.
Oh, there's Robbie Watt. Overtaker's just crossed the line on, with a second to spare on the side. We've got one more lap.
Gets the final lap in. Daz, well, was within a tenth. That gap is no longer a tenth. That's a bit bigger now, so I don't know what's happened to Daz. There, Gary Leach trying to catch, as is Luke down the order as well. Shaggy's now got past Sherry. Back to the front. Gary Leach within 3/10 of a second. Daz within 8/10. And Clouden looks up the inside of Borough Becks. Bit of a tap from Borough Becks. They all managed to hang on to it. And Simon Blair as well has got past Ramy Fernie. Well, they've all got one lap to get jobs finished here. And it is moved on for Clouden. Moves himself up into P4. Back down to Joe's catching Gary as Gary's catching Luke. So can Joe get ahead of Gary in this 20-minute? Good first race. Good opening race to the night here, Pierre.
Yeah, there's been some interesting moments this race, which I'm sure we'll find out about later from some drivers, but what a drive by Overtaker.
Yeah, great strategy to come into the pits early. Sky Schundelmeyer has left the pack for dead, and then it is that of Clouden, then it is Borough Becks, with Simon Blair, Ramy Fernie just dropping off the back. Paolo's P8, Sam's P9, he's got Darren Yeo right up the back of him. Then it is Luke, Gary Leach having to hold on from Fury here. Fury giving it everything. And I don't think Paul Williams will beat Dan in this one. As Fury looks up the inside at the hairpin. Gary's got enough to cover Fury off there. Daz, once again, pushing Sam through the Schumacher S's pretty much. He is that close to the back of him. Here comes Daz. Overtaker's coming to the final corner, though. It is going to be another race winner here in the Pro. It is going to this time be the Overtaker, who will take P1. His rivals have fallen by the wayside. It is P1 for Overtaker. A great drive there for him. Dennis Newman is going to come across the line for P2. Great drive from him in this one. Sky Schundelmeyer will get his first podium of the season in an absolute great fight. Then it is Clouden who will come across for P4 with Borough Becks, Simon Blair, Ramy Fernie. P8 will be that of Paolo. P9 will be Sam. He's just hung on there from Darren Yo, who crosses the line P10. Then it will be Gary Leach. Don't know what's happened to Luke. Then it will be Joe. Graham's got past Luke as well. We've lost a driver from the lobby, I do believe. I believe it was Luke, so not sure what happened there. That was on the last lap, so maybe a disconnection. I wonder if he's the one who had inset problems earlier. Graham P13, Shaggy 14th. Sheary will get P15 from Clawbull. Poor pit stop for him. Alex Power 17th. Tech leader will be 18th place on his first outing this season.
Nash 19th and fastest lap.
Fastest lap for Nash in this one. Mike Matthews 23rd on the grid position wise.
Yeah, and well, interesting night really, and so far.
Yeah, it really was. Graham got himself ahead of Andrew Taylor, so Andrew Taylor down the order, down in 21st. Dan Davis in the pits. The others have also finished, just waiting for Ward, I do believe. Yep, just waiting for Ward to come across the line. But what a night's worth of racing.
He's returned to pits, I think.
He's returned to the pit lane. Right, that is all we have time for in this first race. Go and grab yourself some refreshments. We will be right back in a few moments' time with qualifying and the second race. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport. We are here for the second qualifying of the evening. Sorry, the first qualifying of the evening. The second qualifying of the second qualifying. I don't know where I'm going with this two qualifying. It's technically the fourth qualifying of the season. But either way, we're here for qualifying. Before we get into that, though, let's just say a massive thank you to our sponsors popping up on screen now. Bozzy Designs for our fantastic overlays and graphics. Design Manchester for all their work they do for providing the server. And Audio Sport, who have been previous sponsors who have provided trophies and prizes for us. Audio Sport do parts for T4 camper vans, VW vans, I do believe it is. Design Manchester for your personalised goods, and Bozzy Designs for any designs you may need, whether that be logos, overlays, or whatever. Right, the championship looks interesting, Peony, because as we can see, or well, as I can see, Mike Matthews has extended his championship lead to Dan to 12 points. He is then 28 points clear of Overtaker, 31 clear of Nash, 34 clear of Gary. So it's quite a close championship. Joe is moved up to P6 with Ramy Fernie 7th. Alex Power is P8, tied on points with Jamal Clouden. Sky Schundelmeyer still hanging on to P10 with Simon Blair P11. Sherry P12, tied on points with Paolo. Excuse me. Luke is P14 with Darren Yo on his tail. Graham Sutcliffe, Graham S, the two old Ams Graham, P16 with Dennis Newman, P17, Andrew Taylor, P18, DeFizz, then Sam, Burrabex, Den Brave, Coutiers, De Hoffner moves up to 24th, then it is Clawball, Williams, Losser, Costa, Shaggy, Tech Leader, Graham J. Ward, Muller, Marshall and Gowney yet to start a race. Constructors Championship, it looks like this. It is SimPlay Racing who's have their lead cut to 78 points, 109 ahead of the Haggis Munchers. And Effect Motorsport, we said that they, their 3 retirements are going to hurt him. They've gone from P10 to P4. They're on 156 points. Great race for the Effect Motorsport team. Button Basher Racing P5 with JB Racing P6. Two Old Ams is P7. Ottinger All Stars P8. Red Rum P9. Greasy Bandit P10 with Stage 2 P11. BDM P12 and Team FBR P13. Your manufacturers looks like this. McLaren look like they're going to retain it from Bentley, to be fair, at this rate. 329 points clear of BMW with Lamborghini. Take it back from Bentley, sorry, yeah. Thank you. With BMW second place. After that, it is then Lamborghini from Ferrari with Porsche, Mercedes, Aston Martin, Bentley, Audi and Honda. Overtaker has done his 100th race start. So welcome to the 100 club for Overtaker. In this one, and what a way to celebrate your 100th race, PN, than a race win.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Cheeky race win.
It's a little cheeky race win, yeah.
Great strategy from him, though. Really good strategy from Overtaker.
Yeah. And I would have put race one an honourable mention to Paolo. He was, what, P8?
Yeah.
Quiet night. Barely saw him, because he just wasn't in anything.
Went under the radar, didn't he? And come away with P8 Tibbs as well. And Dennis Newman. 2 retirements to his name in 4 races. P2, great race.
Bit of that local knowledge, I think.
Yes, possibly, yeah. That is Overtaker's 28th race win. He's now one behind Gary 131. And in terms of podiums, that gives Overtaker his 69th. Car stats, well, Lamborghini or Audi could get pole position number 66. And R. Nash pumps in a fast lap there, 1:4.54.1. A real belter. Car 80 is next to the line. It is Sherry who goes across in P4. Then we have car 16, that is Dan Davis, not the race for him. He moves himself up only P3 behind the overtaker. Who else? We've got car 96 is coming around. I can't see car 96. He is there. It is Sam. What will his lap time be before we look at car 45? That is then going to be Shaggy. And we'll go to the car 99 of Monkey Boy. So Shaggy moves himself up into P10. Graham goes P4. What can Andrew Taylor do before car 21 comes around? Andrew Taylor, P11. Car 21 of De Hoffner, P12 ahead of Shaggy. Next car on a lap, that of Joe. All on his own at that back part of the circuit.
Nice clear space for Joe. I think he's thinking, thank you very much. I can't even find him on the screen at the moment. Yeah, there he is, coming through the final corner.
Okay, I had to just message Jay because I have had to sit down, so if the microphone does sound a little different, please tell me and I will try and move the microphone a bit further away. Again, Joe, though, goes up across the line and puts in a lap time worthy of P5. Car 44 is next. That is Nash, who's took every race to pole position at the moment.
Yeah, he's coming up to the final chicane now. The loser's final chicane. Not the tight Grand Prix one.
Which I prefer.
I prefer this one because then you turn left onto the Nordschleife and do the 24-hour calls.
So after Nash, then comes Overtaker. Will Nash improve his lap? 154.1. Crosses the line, no improvement for him. What about Overtaker? Crosses the line, no improvement for him. Graham, 1.2 off the pace at the moment. Can he find anything here? Does, goes into P2. Car 80, I believe that is. That is Sherry to the line. Any improvement for him? No. Car 36 is coming to the line. We're going to jump back to car 16, who Dan stays P4. So no improvements at the minute for Dan. Alex, 36, that is Cloud, and goes up to P5. Alex Powell, currently P9. What can he do?
P7.
P7. Shaggy, next on the list of cars to do a lap time before Paolo. Shaggy to the line, stays P17 as others put lap times in as well. We then turn to Paolo. He only needs a couple of hundredths. Stays exactly where he is as well. Car 21 will be the next one. That will be De Hoffner. I tell you what, the car for me who's in the best track position here is Fury. Is Joe. Look at the space he's got.
Yeah, and to remind everyone, Darren Yo and Luke
yes,
both have qualifying bans.
Thank you, Peony. Darren Yo and Luke do both have a qualifying ban. So we can delete that off of there.
And they are both in the pits, twiddling their thumbs. If it was me, I'd be sitting there playing on the Vita or the Switch for 5-10 minutes.
Fury stays P6. Next car is Gary Leach. Not yet done a lap time. We know Gary's a bit of a race 2 specialist when it comes to making a few tweaks here and there. Well, has he made the right tweaks here and there? That's going to be the biggest question. Gary towards the line. Remy Fernie back in the pits. Gary to the line, goes P6. Them tweaks seem to have hoped Dan Davis will be the next car at the line. The other thing to notice as well here, by the way, PN, because it is still technically dark, look at them auxiliary lights.
Yeah, I know. It is none of the predecessors opposed to Bentleys. But Bentley look like it's going to eat me. I have to try something, don't I?
Dan's is quite nice. One just by the airbox and one on the front grille. Dan Davis to the line. Goes P3, but only P3, and he's going to pull that car to the side and he's going to go for another run. We're going to go to 111 of Alex Powell then. There is a car in front. I didn't see that car change its position. So here comes Alex Powell. Stays where he is. Tech Leader's now coming to the line as well. He goes P19. 181 is next to the line. That is Clarble, who said in the chat, we believe, changed his brakes in the race.
Whoops.
What an error. Well, Clarble goes into P10. Everybody else then on an invalid lap, so we then turn our attention once again back to Joe.
Where's our little Fury? There he is. Exhaust glowing in the side wing on the BMW. On the right hand side.
Oh, no, sorry, we're not on Joe, we're on Gary. There's Joe.
Well, I want Joe.
So Joe to the line, moves P6. Next on a valid lap is Gary 131, so we can go back to Gary now. Fat bloke, come on Team FBR, need a good first outing for the team in Pro. Indeed we do. Don't forget guys, girls, hit that thumbs up button and that bell to be notified when we are live. Hit the red button to subscribe to the channel. Back live next Wednesday for Imola midday race where Dan Davis will be bringing you the Pro-Am action live. And myself and PM will be back live next Thursday for all of Pro. Right, Gary's just crossed the line. Mike Mathews, not yet done a valid lap, comes to the line now and puts himself up in the top 7. 271's on lap. Dennis Newman goes P17. Next car is 36. Who is car 36? That is Clouden. What will Clouden do on this run? And then behind him is the car 80.
Clouden, no improvement.
No, and car 80 of Sherry goes P17. 77 of Tech Leader is coming back around. He's currently down in 23rd place. Crosses the line now and goes up to 19th. Then we've got Simon Blair coming towards the line. He's currently 14th and moves up to P30. We've got Overtaker coming to the line. 4:10, half a second by the way, separate the top 5. Clawball moves into 7th place. Overtaker's taken pole. He is provisional pole, but Nash is on a lap. He's getting the slipstream, I believe, from the V12 Aston, and Nash goes within 100th of a second.
It's on.
It is on. It is on.
Out of his way.
Joe to the final corner. What's Dan and Graham got in response now?
Yeah, as
Joe to the line, no improvement. No improvement from Joe. Car 45 is next. That is Shaggy. Comes round the final bend. What's Shaggy going to do here? Currently P25. Improves, stays P25. Gary 131 next on the grid before car 43 of Ramey Fernie. Gary 131 moves, stays P8, sorry. Ramey Fernie.
Someone changed P4.
Yeah, someone did change. It's Ramey Fernie who went up to P6. Next is the 227. That is Graham on his debut in the Team FBR car. To the line. No improvement. Where is car 80? That is Sherry. P17 at the moment. 2.5 off the back. Only needs 4,000ths of a second to get himself ahead of Jay Ward.
As I'm keeping an eye on what the 44 does.
Sherry stays P17. What about Alex Powell? Moves himself up into P6. Good lap that from Alex Powell. Here comes Simon Blake. Rounds the final corner. Well, Nash has got a free track in front of him here, PN. Simon Blair, P14. Oh, he stays.
Nash has took track limits in the chicane. He's invalidated.
Right. So Nash is invalidated. We then turn our attention to Graham, a.k.a. Sooty Apex.
Oh, that's Graham.
21st at the moment. Does he improve? Don't think he did. P. Williams comes to the line. He goes up to 21st now. Next car will be Joe. A lot of laps being pumped in this qualifying session from drivers. Here comes Joe. Moves up to P6. So moves back up the order a little bit. Car 99. That is Andrew Taylor. Down in 23rd. Doesn't improve. Car 45. That is Shaggy. 6/10 he needs to get ahead of De Hoffner. And gets ahead of De Hoffner, Andrew Taylor and Graham. Car 43 is next on the list.
Which is Smokey.
That is Smokey, a.k.a. Ramey Fernie. He stays where he is. Gary stays where he is. Mike's on an invalid lap. Mike only P11. And then it's Alex Powell, the next one. Oh, no, he's stopped. Car 77 will then be next.
Tech Leader.
Is Dan Davis on track? He is. He's on an invalid lap at the moment. So here comes Tech Leader.
Better look. Not enough screens. Not enough people flying in. The Tech Leader comes towards the final chicane. Braking on the curve. Got a Ferrari behind him. the Merc V8 thunders out the final corner. And it really does sound like it's thundering. Tech leader to P17.
Yeah, P17 for tech leader, car 24. That is Sky, currently down in 13th place. He stays.
Nash is in the pit.
P13
Nash is done.
Oh, Nash is done. Overtaker gets one more lap in. So who's to the line? Where's car 21? That is Duffin, with Sutty right behind him. Then it is the 180. Duffin moves up to 24th. Graham moves up to 23rd. Where is the 180? That is P. Williams. Stays 21st. Car 13 of Joe will just get one more lap in. The 99 of Andrew Taylor might as well. Joe to the line. No improvement. The 99 of Andrew Taylor. Does he get one more run? He does, and goes 22nd for his troubles. So drivers starting to pit here as well.
Overtaker's done. He's in the pit.
Car 45. Who is that?
Shaggy.
That is Shaggy, who finishes qualifying P15. Who was just behind him? It is the 11 of Mike Matthews. So Mike Matthews on his last attempt to move up the order. An overtaker stops Nash's run of pole positions here at PN at the moment. Here comes Mike Matthews to the line. Stays P12. Dan's the next car.
Coming onto the back straight, which ain't really straight. It's got a right hand kink in the
Who's that just behind Dan? Car 24. That is Sky. Big pressure on Dan here to get this one nailed.
It'll be another week before Lamborghini's 66th pole position.
Here comes Dan into the final corner now. Few drivers still left on laps. Car 99 of Andrew Taylor will be the last man to get a lap on the board. Here comes Dan. Has he got enough to take pole away from Overtaker? No, he only goes P3. Sky to the line. He manages to break into the top 11. 271. That is Dennis Newman, who comes round the final corner before car 21 of Duffin. Here comes Dennis. Any improvement on 21st? He has improved. I don't know where he's gone. He's gone 15th. Here comes Duffin. Can he improve? No, 25th for Duffin then. Now we turn our attention to Joe at the final corner. Can Joe improve any? Monkey Boy Andrew Taylor has just invalidated that lap. And Joe stays P6. So Overtaker stops the run of poles for Nash.
Yep, but it's so close.
Has Costa got back in? No.
No Da Costa. He's still not here. He's gone. Yeah, I can't select him.
So, yeah, Williams takes 22nd. Not a bad qualifying for Williams. Obviously 19th last week, 22nd this week. Sherry down in 21st for him. And we got Ward on his debut. That's his first qualifying. That'll be 20th. Tech Leader's first qualifying of the season. That'll be 19th. Borough Beck's 18th. We've got Sam then. P17. Shaggy on his debut is P16. Dennis Newman. Come across the line for P15 in the end. Paolo, P14. Will he have a quiet one under the radar again to work his way in the top 10? Mike Matthews, 13th place, championship leader. Not having a great Nurburgring at all.
No. I think he might be glad to see the back of him, Nurburgring.
Yeah, I think you might be right there as well. Simon Blair, 9th for Amy Fernie, 8th. So you've got the Haggis Munchers. Then the row behind, you've got the BTC Jaeger racing cars. So great to see this little battle pan out here. Alex Pow, 7th. Good qualifying from him. Joe, 6th. Good qualifying from him. Clouden, P5. Graham on his debut. Good lap from Graham on debut.
It was like PlayStation. Xbox. PlayStation.
And Dan Davis, P3. Had great pace. He got himself into the 53s in the week. And Overtaker was struggling. But it's Overtaker, the man who's took pole position from Nash. So that'll be your front row of the grid. PN, who's your tip for the race win?
Oh. I'm gonna... Who am I gonna put the commentator curse on? You mean?
Well,
it seemed to happen to Tech Leader, didn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's either going to be overtaken Nash or Dan, isn't it? Really. Maybe outside chance for the team FBR Graham? That's what I'm going to call him, so you don't get confused with side.
Yeah, I think you're possibly right. It is going to be an interesting one to see what happens, isn't it?
Ask me at the end of the race when I'm going through one.
Give us a name. You've got to give us a name.
I'm gonna say. Actually, Clouden looks good as well, because he's up there, isn't he?
Well, I'm going to go with Overtaker.
Oh, I want to go for the other pink machine then with Nash.
There we go. Get your votes in the chat for who you think is going to win. It's Overtaker from Nash. Row 2 of Dan Davis and Graham. Row 3 of Clouden and Joe. Row 4 of Alex and Raimi Fernie. Row 5, Simon Blair, Gary Leach. Row 6, Sky Shundlemeyer and Clarwell. Row 7, Matthews and Paolo. Newman and Shaggy on row 8. Row 9 is Sam and Burrabex. Row 10 is Tech Leader and Ward, Sherry and Williams. Row 11. Row 12, Taylor and Graham, the two old hams. Row 13, De Hoffner and Darren Yo. And on his own at the back is Luke. Overtaker's the popular vote at the moment for who the chat think he's going to win. Don't forget, if you enjoy what you see here, hit that thumbs up button and the bell to be notified. And don't forget to join us live. Hit the subscribe button as well. And don't forget to join us live next Wednesday night, Pro-Am night for Imola, where Dan Davis will be taking you through the action. Enjoy myself and PNMotorsport live next Thursday for the Pro Series. We're about to get going for race 6 of the season, the final race of Nurburgring for this season as well. Tracy's saying Sky should be on the vote for the win. I think from 11th, that's going to be a little hard for Sky to do. Hey, I'd love to see Sky win this race from 11th. Just to let you know, McLaren won its 57th race and it's just taken its 61st pole position. So there we go. Good bit of stats there for you.
Yeah. Still not a fan of McLaren cars. A bit dull. It's not flamboyant, is it? Look like the Lamborghini or the Ferrari. They're flamboyant. So there's a possibility that they might try to kill you.
Right. They line up 2 by 2. And we're not boarding Noah's Ark. We're racing at the ring. Everybody is getting ready to go here. 27 cars on this grid. What a chance. Everybody on that list getting taken out at turn 1, says Jamie Brazier. Well, let's hope not. But we'll have a few unhappy drivers. Let's put it that way. I think 3 at least will be fuming. We're around the final corner though. Here we go. It's Overtaker versus Nash on the front row of the grid. And for round 6 of the season, we are green and go. It's a drive-through penalty this time for Alex Powell. It's not been a good start for him. And already, look at the 2 pink cars. It is Overtaker and Nash side by side. Dan Davis didn't get the best launches away. He sat patiently waiting behind. All cleanly through at the moment. And Nash round the outside of Overtaker will have the inside for the next part. They just tapped doors a little bit. And now Overtaker and Nash touch doors again there. Coming through turn 2. And Nash leads the race. Overtaker giving him a flash of the lights. I thought was going to look up the inside for a send it. Where's Nash gone so wide? Keeps the inside line though for turn 4. Dan is just watching on in the distance. And once again, Nash and Overtaker stay side by side. Dan Davis is watching this on. And he's going to try and follow Overtaker up the inside. In towards turn 5. Fury looks like he's got damage up the rear. But he's managed to stick with the front 2, sorry. And Overtaker leads from Nash, from Dan Davis. Graham's dropped off the back. It's Joe though who's P4. And now Nash is this. Dan giving Nash a flash of the lights this time around. And Nash, what can he do as they come towards the hairpin for the first time? That was very close. Dan on the back of Nash here, but all through cleanly. PN, good start.
It was a good start. We've got a car in the Gary. So who is that?
That is car 80. That is Sherry. And 271 is off at the hairpin. I believe that is Dennis Newman. And now Nash's turn to flash the lights at Overtaker, trying to hang it around the outside. Nash has gone a little wide. Does that invite Dan Davis to have a look? Has a look, but it is just a sniff. No more than that. So Sherry already on the back foot. It looks like Dennis Newman and Graham Sutty are down towards the back. Joe's having a look on Dan while Dan's trying to attack the rear end of Nash. Overtaker just being allowed to pull away a little bit already, and you're not going to get the move done at the chicane. PN, great start from the front lot.
Yeah, Dennis is at the back as well. We've lost
Cheery. So that'll go down as a retirement.
Sutty's very slow returning. Sutty's car does not look good.
So after lap 1, it is overtaker from Nash, from Dan Davis, who's been put under some pressure from his old teammate Joe. Then it is Graham, Gary Leach, Simon Blair, who's side by side at the minute with Sky Schundelmeyer through into turn 1. Sky doesn't get the move done round the outside. Then it is Clouden, who's got Ramey Fernie looking up the inside of him. That is a good move from Ramey there. Fantastically done. Clarbel, Mike Matthews 12th. He's not come through the pack here as Mike. Shaggy, tech leader, who's having Jay Ward's having a look on his P14. Then it is to Hoffner, Andrew Taylor, Paolo, Damon, P. Williams, Darren Yo down in 21st, Burra Beck 22nd. Then it is Sam, Alex Powers in for his drive-through, Dennis Newman and Graham. Oh, that is an ugly-looking BMW.
I don't know if he made the front end, if he's made the front end better or worse. Because let's face it, this M4 for front end is not a looker with any nostrils, is it?
Dan Davis just dropping off the back of Nash a little bit here as Nash puts the pressure back on Overtaker once again. Dan, we saw last week at Zolder struggled to stick with Overtaker and Nash. Is he struggling once again, or is he just biding his time? That's going to be the question that we all need to ask and wait to find out, as it's Nash and Overtaker, with Joe, though, not letting up the pressure on Dan Davis.
Gary's not far off as well in 5th.
Going great at the minute is Gary, going really good. Is Gary 131, Gary Leach, still not used to calling them their real names. And look at this battle. Simon Blair, Sky Schundelmeyer, Ramey Fernie, Clouden in the background. It's like race 1 all over again. Oh no! Smokey's hit Schundelmeyer off.
Yeah, Smokey just wiped him out. That's not on.
Clouden's gone through. Clarebell's gone through. Mike Matthews has gone through. And that was horrible.
That was horrible.
Sky Schundelmeyer off into the wall big time.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty, that one.
Graham in the pits for what could possibly be a long time again. Look, Dan has just dropped. In fact, Dan's lost out to Joe. So we said Dan didn't have the pace of the front too, it looked like again. Well, he's lost out now to Joe, his old teammate.
He has. Or is he using Joe to get on the back of him?
Well, not sure. Nash has lost a bit of time to Overtaker, who's up fastest lap of the race. Gary Leach here. Gary's looking racy tonight, to be fair.
He is in race 2. He likes his race 2. He figures things out.
He makes a few tweaks in the mid-session break. That's what Gary does, and it seems to work. Clouden then free of everybody, but he's not caught onto the back. Simon Blair, Mike Matthews now inside the top 10. Ramey Fernie's down in 11th. Shaggy is P13. We've got Andrew Taylor then is P14. Alex Powell's returned to the pits. I don't think... has he returned to pits or drove him? Not sure.
Don't know.
Dennis Newman's also in the pits as well. And Graham's still there. We assume Graham's going to have some massive damage.
His car's fixed. It's moving. Graham's going.
Right, so Graham's away. He's got a chance now to catch Dennis Newman and Alex. Obviously, Sherry retirement will be the big one. We're currently watching Burra Becks try and defend from Williams here. The two Stage 2 Motorsport drivers. And Nash has got the gap down to 3/10. Dan's still within 4/10 of Joe. Joe's lost a lot of time. In fact, Nash has got the gap down to a 10th. Joe's trying to stick with Nash and Overtaker here.
Yeah. Ooh. Good drive out the final corner.
Anybody leaving the pits? Alex has just come out of the pits. Dennis Newman's still in it. Now, Dennis Newman needs to finish this race. If he doesn't complete 3/4 of this race, that'll be a retirement and minus 25 championship points. Nash now looking all over the back of the Overtaker. Driving really well at the moment. Now, this invites Joe and Dan Davis back into the party.
Yep, and FBR Graham's not far off, as if, and neither's Gary.
No, neither is Gary.
They can see him.
They can see him. And Joe is there. Joe and Nash had a good race at Donington Park in the race too, if you remember. Joe's the fastest man on the track at the moment as well, Pierre.
Yeah, as Sam's got massive rear end damage on his Aston and front end damage.
Yeah, he's in the pits as well. Dennis Newman's out the pits. So Dennis, Graham and Alex Powell are away. This is currently the battle for the race lead, where Nash has now lost out to Joe. Sorry, Nash is now lost out to Overtaker. Dan not really made any inroads here, but Joe 2/10 to Nash now.
And fastest lap. Joe's the fastest man on the circuit. This is the stage of the race.
Yeah, De Hoffner and Monkey Boy having a good scrap as well. Back to Joe and Nash though. And Joe's got rear end damage at that, so clearly not enough to be hurting his car.
Nah. Our Porsche Cup champion, GT4 champion.
PS5 champion. Yeah.
He likes the side series, so he's probably rubbing his hands in glee for.
Yeah, now that he's possibly seen the GT2s be announced and see if they come out. Sky Schundelmeyer, he's got past Paul Williams, so he's trying to fight his way back through the field. That is Dennis Newman on the back of Paul Williams as well. And Dennis Newman actually off on the grass there. Right, Nash has dropped Joe a little bit and caught back onto the rear end of Overtaker. I'm baffled by Dan at the moment. I don't know Dan's tactic here. He's now 1.5 seconds off the back of Joe.
He is, well, if we had DRS, that fake overtaking system we had in Formula 1, he's out of the zone, isn't he, now?
Dan's race pace in these race twos, he's not been able to stick with these guys like we expect Dan Davis to.
Unless he's saving tyres and planning not to stop the tyres.
Clouding within 3/10 now of Smoky Devils. We'll keep our eyes on the top two battle. They're already coming up to try and lap Alex and Graham. So already traffic is going to start to become a problem. Sam is now going to be on the same lap as Alex and Dennis Newman, and will soon be on the same lap as well. Andy Birchall in the chat. Go Mike Matthews, he says. Well, where is Mike Matthews? He's 10th, and he's gaining on the back of Clawball here. Back to the front now. Nash back within 3/10 of a second of Overtaker. And again, look, Joe 9/10 behind, and Dan a further 2.5 behind him. Graham's actually gained 9/10 over the last lap on Dan.
Yeah, they've dropped Gary now. With what other battles we've got? Tell you what, there's a nice little queue of cars behind Tech Leader with Daz and Luke.
Darren Yo's actually just got past Tech Leader. Tech Leader's wide. That's going to allow Luke through. Jay Ward's not quite there. Luke now side by side with Tech Leader through the Schumacher S's. Luke will be on the outside line. Oh, who gets it right? Oh, who gets it right? Gravel though, Luke gets much better drive through the Schumacher S's, and he's looking to come around the outside. And now look, Joe's over 1.2 behind Nash, while Dan Davis has caught a couple of tenths on the back. Look at all this. Sky Schundelmeyer's in this fight, as then is Jay Ward. And Burra Becks, who's that off? Who was that off? Was that Andrew Taylor? It was. He's gone off somewhere. So Andrew Taylor, he's got big damage.
Yeah.
Oh, big damage to Andrew Taylor's car. That could be a lengthy stop. Oh, contact! And I believe it was Sky Schundelmeyer again with Burra Becks this time.
Yeah, it was, and that's...
Well, we know Sky wasn't at fault for the first one, but Burra Becks, what happened there? Who's got the fastest lap? Nash, did you say?
Nash has now got fastest lap.
Right, so Nash takes fastest lap. He's pulled away from Joe. Joe still got a good gap over Dan, and Dan clear of Graham.
In fact, they've got the 2 lap cars ahead of them.
They have got the 2 lap cars. That is Alex and Graham Sutcliffe. And Graham's got to move out the way for Alex because Alex is lapping him. And has then got to move out the way for the leaders. So, really here, these back markers could play a bit of a nuisance. Nash really closing in under the braking down towards the hairpin at the bottom of the circuit. Now uphill towards the Schumacher S is not really an overtaking opportunity. If he's going to pass Overtaker, he's got to really do it on the straights, because the only other overtaking opportunity is maybe up the inside at the final corner, and that's about it.
Ooh, Brian was right in the way through there.
You know, through the
corner.
But
he got out of the way, he just went exit stage right.
Who's that dropping down the standings now? Not sure. Mike Matthews is actually down to 16th, so he's had a problem somewhere. Was running 10th on the back of Clawball, so championship leader not having the race he wanted. He's got damage. Pit window doesn't open for another 3.5 minutes. Joe, very wide onto the grass. Where's Dan? Dan's lost out to Graham now.
Yeah. What's that? Oh God! I don't stop over the look.
Dan's race pace is not what I expected it to be this season.
Nah, as they've now put another lap on Graham. Stuck with. We get like Graham.
Mike Matthews has now lost out to Paolo. Oh, he's got big damage. Oh, he's got huge damage.
He's just going to hang on until the pit window opens to get that in so you don't lose any more time.
He's got Paul Williams and Andrew Taylor behind him. Andrew Taylor's got damage as well. Jay Ward's just dropped down the standing, says. And Jamie Brazier, he's gone down to 18th place. Here comes Andrew Taylor then, side by side into turn one with P. Williams. And Andrew Taylor with damage. Up the inside he goes, and that is Dennis Newman trying to unlap himself, becoming a bit of a nuisance. And now Andrew Taylor gets to fight with his old teammate. I think Beck's got punted by number 24 twice by the looks of it. So MB Pitts in the chat, they reckon that Borough Becks may have got 2 taps from Sky Shundlemeyer. And now the former SimPlay Racing teammates Mike Matthews and Andrew Taylor get to go at this one. Leaders still within 0.3 of a second of each other, and Dan is now back ahead of Graham.
Yeah. As Fury now gets a tiny bit held up by Alex Powell.
I don't think that's 0.3 of a second anymore. That looks a little closer as they come down towards the first sector here. Yeah, Mike I think will definitely be getting ready to say goodbye to the Nurburgring as they come up towards sector 2. The time says 2.5 tenths. Through the chicane they go. Look at Nash through the chicane. Really good closing speed for the Lamborghini driver. Pit window opens on the 30-minute mark, let's not forget.
It does. There's another lap for those with damage. Overtaker trying to break the slipstream. That's one move.
That's 2 manoeuvres. He's come across and he's then come back across. So he can't make no more, and he doesn't make any more. Clouden on the back of Simon Blair.
Smokey's made a mistake.
Sorry, Clawball's on the back of Simon Blair. No, it did say Clouden. Clouden, I think, has had a moment because he's now down to P10. Down to Mike Matthews. Is he still ahead of Andrew Taylor? For now, yes. P. Williams still there as well as Dennis Newman trying to unlap himself. Oh, Mike's lights are flashing as they come through the final corner under the brakes. He's got huge damage. And the pit window opens in 50 seconds as well. Who's car 96? That is Sam. Sam, you know, could potentially tactically slow down a little bit to get himself in the pits this lap.
Yeah. Not by that much, so we've not only got about 30 seconds to go for the window open through the chicane.
P. Williams looking up the inside of Andrew Taylor. Andrew Taylor was looking around the outside of Mike Matthews. No good there.
Anyone want to buy a Ferrari 296 or BMW M4? They've never been raced or rallied. Well, rallied.
And that is not Mike Matthews flashing his lights. That is him under braking, struggling like mad as the lights flicker. Pit window is now open. So who will be the first to pit? Does the leaders come in? They're coming round to the chicane now. Dan Davis, 4.6 off the back of Joe. I don't get Dan's race pace here.
They both stay out. Joe stays out.
Does Dan undercut? No. Stays out. No. Graham stays out. Gary stays out. Simon Blair, I think he's going to stay out. As will Clawball. Ramey Fern, he's got Clouded right on the back of him again. They both stay out. Shaggy then next. Then it's to Hoffner. Darren Yo P30. Good night for Darren Yo. Good way to bounce back from Zolder early at the moment.
It is. He's getting points on the board.
Oh! Who was that? Jay Ward sent one up the inside at the chicane on, I believe, Paolo. Did not work. Andrew Taylor, I imagine, in. Mike Matthews, in. Williams stays out. Borough Becks. Graham came straight in as well to do his stop. Borough Becks in as well as Alex Power. I think Luke came in. And would you look at the top of the standings there, PM? And just tell me what you see.
Joint fastest lap.
Joint fastest lap.
They've done exactly the same lap time.
There you go, folks. You do not see that very often, but it is Overtaker leading from Nash. Joe is just dropping a bit further back from the two leaders. Then it is Dan Davis, P4. He's got Graham sticking with him in P5. Gary Leach is P6. Simon Blair in 7th. We'll let these cars go forward a little bit more instead of keep coming through the Schumacher S's. Then it is Clarbel. Then it is Ramey Fernie. Right back to the Schumacher S's. He has got Clouden right up the boot lid of his McLaren 720S Evo. Paolo done. Luke done. Sky Schundelmeyer done. Graham Sutcliffe done. Leaders 10th in it as they come to the final corner. So they both stay out on track. Fury comes in for an undercut. What pace from Overtaker. What pace.
Yeah, FBR. Nash did it the previous lap to Overtaker's the following lap.
There you go.
They are exactly the same.
Oh, there's a back marker coming out of the pits. I think stays wide. He does. He stays right out the way, and it's Mike Matthews is just behind him. And I believe that was Burra Bex. Either way, whew, that is scary stuff. Darren Yeo on the back of De Hoffner. That Aston V12. They've got Shaggy just in front of them as well. Great stuff from the V12. Jay Cloud and Simon Blair, Graham and Joe all into the pit lane. And Darren not close enough yet. Yeah, he is. He is. To which I don't get that strategy from Joe.
But there's some Simon Blair's away.
He's out. Clouden away. Joe is now away, but is Joe ahead or behind Clouden? He's behind Clouden. So look, he's lost 2 places because of that change of tyres.
P. Williams is in.
Now, if the track was absolutely roasting, I'd be like, yeah, change your tyres all day long. It's cool temperatures.
Yeah, it's 11 degrees track temp. There's no heat in the track
there's not.
at all.
Punted, basically hit up the rear end. Tracy. So he's been hit in the rear or hit anywhere, really, just punted off. There's a saying in England, Matt.
There's another way you can say it, but it's not broadcastable.
Darren Yeo right on the back of De Hoffner here then. De
Hoffner.
Yeah, De Hoffner. Missed the Schumacher S's there, had to go onto the gravel. Easy move for Darren Yeo, moves into the top 10. Dan Davis stays out, as does Gary Leach. There is a slow sounding call. That is Alex Powell coming into the pit lane. Will Clarbel pit? No, he doesn't. I'm sure Clarbel a moment ago was behind Ramey Fernie. He's now not. Darren Yeo can now head after Shaggy then.
Yeah, the timing ladder works out where everybody is. Yeah, there's De Hoffner and the best sounding car on the grid.
Tech leader currently P10 on the field, runs a little wide there. Graham 4 seconds behind him, but Graham has pitted.
Whoa! Tech leader doing some drifted.
Clouden ahead of Joe, as is Simon Blair, as is Graham. Joe lost 3 places in the pits by changing tyres.
Yeah, I think Graham changed tyres as well because he was stationary for quite a long time.
He's still come out though. He didn't lose a place to Simon Blair or Clouden, as Simon Blair has got himself ahead of Ward into the pits. Clouden goes through, as does Joe. Sky Schundelmeyer, a lot of damage, but saying that, he got a hit from Ramey Fernie early doors, didn't he? He got spun off by Ramey Fernie into the wall. That looks cracked almost on his left-hand side of his car where the paintwork is chipped away. Mike Matthews on the back now of Burra Bex. He's on a comeback drive. He has not had a Nurburgring to remember.
No, he hasn't, but then we go to Imola next, which is also quite narrow.
And then we go to his home circuit of Alton Park, so, you know, it's going to be interesting
to see. Which is even narrower.
It is even narrower. Ward is on his way. Ward still looks like he's got rear end damage, but he's on his way. Joe has gone through, Sky has gone through, Paolo has, P. Williams goes through, Luke goes through, Burra Bex will not. And Dan, look at the traffic that Dan is in here. He's got his teammate and then Burra Bex. Why did Dan not pit?
I have no idea, I don't know, but Overtaker and Nash, you should cover both cars up right now, they're that close.
Nash can't seem to get close enough though.
No, because that'd be the dirty air being thrown off by the McLaren. overtake the flashing up the lap traffic ahead.
Jamie Brazier saying that Joe will have repaired damage. That is an interesting one to see. I don't get why Dan Davis hasn't come in the pits with lap traffic in front. Mike has moved out his way, but Borough Beck still hasn't.
No, who's that in front of the lap? I think there's one of the two old
of Dan, yeah, that's Borough Beck's in front of Dan.
Oh no, I'm talking about Overtaker, because Overtaker's stuck in traffic.
That is Sutty or Monkey Boy. And I believe it is Graham Sutcliffe. Car 12, yep, Graham Sutcliffe. You see the Sut on the windscreen. He goes wide at the hairpin, and through go the leaders. Right.
Tech leader in.
Dan's 6.8 now behind the two leaders. He's cleared Borough Beck's. Borough Beck's is on the gravel. Here comes Mike Matthews. Alex Powell trying to fight them for 20th and 21st, but he's still got to pit. So does Sam, so does Dennis Newman. So a lot of drivers still to pit here. Tech leader is done with Simon Blair. He's through, Clouden's through, Joe's through, Sky's through, Paolo's through. Luke is not. So tech leader out. P16 at the moment.
Yeah, I'll see when Overtaker and Nash pit. They got pit sooner or later.
Well, there's a lot of drivers still to pit, and it's still Shaggy and Darren Yo who have got to pit as well.
Dan not pitting yet.
Yeah, he's got a bit of clear track now to make up some time, but Overtaker and Nash have got a lot of clear track as well.
Yeah, and here comes Clarble to the final chicane. Distinctive noise from the I think Clarble's in the 992.
Darren Yo's going well here. He's put on a good display tonight, as Darren.
He has, and maybe the change of the colours to something more suitable.
The change of the colours, the change of the name, yeah, a lot of it could have been the way to bring success.
Daz is in.
Daz is in. So, De Hoffner, will he come in? No, he stays out. So it is just Alex, Dennis, Sam, and then the top 8 now. And the closest fight on track is this one for the race lead.
It is. Will Nash do ascend it soon? As Overtaker defends the inside line into the hairpin.
Well, the question here, Pien, is who blinks first? Because Overtaker's doing the job he needs to do at the moment. He's not really under massive pressure from Nash. Yes, Nash is there, but it's not massive pressure.
No, it's not, and Nash could be also biding his time. Because if they don't change tyres...
These are not changing tyres now, these are going to the end, I'm sorry.
They're definitely going to the end. Maybe you might have... Overtaker's defending the inside line into the chicane.
He is defending the inside line into the chicane. This is going to be interesting. Nash, yeah, just a small tap. Nash with a flash of the lights. It's not an overtaking opportunity as the chicane, so Nash flashing his lights. Joe's got the fastest lap of the race, by the way, so the fresh rubber doing Joe the world of good. I don't really see where Overtaker's meant to go there, Pian. I feel that with chicanes, you've got to be fully ahead to have the corner. And by fully ahead, I mean a full car ahead.
Yeah, it's like, someone overtook me into the Schumacher S. That's also a chicane last night, and I just went, you know what? I'm not going to go side by side with you here.
The Schumacher S a little different. It's a little wider. It's not as tight to chicane.
Gary's in.
With the final chicane here, very tight chicane.
Yeah.
Gary in the pits, Clarbel in the pits. Gary already away, starts the car moving now. Where's Graham? Graham and Gary was having a good scrap. Gary was about a second and a half behind him. Clarbel exits the final corner. Gary's coming down the pit lane. I think Graham is going to come out ahead of Gary here. Gary's not yet off the limiter. You hear him still going away. Clarbel through. Gary Leach off the limiter. Now, Simon Blair's coming. And Joe, well, his change of tyres... Joe's change of tyres may have worked, but he's now lost out to Gary. He's lost out to Clarbel. He's lost out to Graham, because Clarbel's now jumped him. He's also lost out to Simon Blair. Darren Yo pitted. He's come out P12, so good pit stop from Darren Yo, that. Shaggy's on his way out the pit, so will Daz jump Shaggy in the pit lane? Well, Shaggy's off his limiter. Where is Darren Yo? He's coming down the start straight now.
Very close.
This is going to be close. I think the gap's going to stay roughly around what it was, and yes, it does. Shaggy through turn 1. So top 4 still to pit, as is Alex Powell, Dennis Newman, and Sam. And Nash within a tenth, 2 tenths once again, of Overtaker. And none of them are going to pit here still.
They've got to pit next lap. We've not 130 seconds penalty.
Well, they're pushing it as far as he can. Dan Davis in. Oh! Oh dear.
Well, you saw it on stream, didn't you? What about Rainy Fernie? So awkward getting used to real people's urban names.
Yeah, it is still very difficult to get used to. Simon Blair on the back of Clarbel. Clarbel obviously
I'm sorry,
trying to...
I just saw it on the other screen.
Yeah. Clarbel trying to get back up to pace here.
I think you'd be putting that ticket in and having great fun doing it, wouldn't you, Matt?
No.
No. As Dan's away, so that was literally just a stop and drop.
Yeah, Graham's coming out the final corner. Dan's off the limiter. Dan is done, but again, it just looks like P3 for Dan in this race.
Yeah.
Oh, late call Dennis Newman, but just gets in before the line.
Sam's yet to pit as well.
And the leaders, look at Nash. He is pushing Overtaker through the hairpin.
Sam's lap traffic behind the Hoff. There's 2 generations of Aston. Soon we may have 3 generations of Aston in this game, which would be nice. Partial to an Aston Martin.
Right, do the leaders pit now? They've got to, really, when you think about it, PM.
Well, if they don't, they know the consequences.
If they don't, and neither does Smokey, well, Dan's sitting pretty for a race win.
Yeah.
This is the closest battle on track for the race lead as well, but both drivers have got to pit.
They've got to. You can't get around in 1 minute 20 seconds. You're not in an F1 car.
They're both in.
Oh.
They're both in, and that looked a little cut from Nash there as well. Smokey's off. He's had big off.
Where's Smokey going?
I don't know where he's going. That is a strange place for Smokey to be off as well.
Yeah. Smokey has to come in now.
Now,
as
this
well.
might be a question of the chicane at Nurburgring, and the admins may have to go over the rules here. There's been a few cuts caught on stream tonight.
Yep.
Smokey in. Yeah, it's the closest fight on track now. There's Sky Shundlemeyer, side by side with Darren Yeo. So Sky's done well to get up to Darren Yeo with the damage still to his cot. Tucks underneath Daz at the hairpin. Good move that. Darren back down to 12th.
Oh,
Sky
Nash
moves
in
up.
his box properly. He's lost loads of time.
So Nash has lost loads of time. Dan Davis there then is still not close enough because of the lap traffic possibly. Still not close enough. Alex Powell in the pits. So here's the last man in. Smokey Devil was in as well. So Dan back up to P3. Graham will be up into P4. Gary Leach will be up into P5. Then it is Clarbel, Simon Blair. Joe with the fastest lap still. Darren Yeo. I know he's not as close to Tibbs as the timing screen says. That'll update in a moment. Sky flying at the moment, by the way. He's right on the rear wing now with Shaggy with all this damage.
Yeah. Extra downforce.
Yeah.
Well, you think it's more of air carbs with a car bodywork, it's going to create a bit of drag, isn't it? So stick the car to the road. That's not how downforce works, Chad.
These are coming down the line. This is all for the top 10 as well. So Daz trying to catch onto the back of Shaggy. And he's actually going to look up the inside of Sky Shundlemeyer. Makes the apex of the corner. Good send-it manoeuvre that from Darren Yeo. Is he ahead? Oh, they nearly touched there. Daz just leaves him enough room. A great racing from Sky and Darren Yeo. And I think Sky has just held back onto that. He has indeed. But what a race, what a bit of driving that was. To not make contact, fantastic. Also, Ramey has jumped Joe in his pit stop. So Joe's strategy has... No, sorry, he hasn't. Joe has jumped him. Joe's strategy hasn't came off yet. He was on the podium. He's now P8.
He's got 13 minutes, so a clutch 8 seconds to Simon Blair. And then Clarbel's a further 4 seconds in front of that. He shouldn't have changed tyres.
No. No. I agree.
Because he was, what, net P3? If he didn't before...
Yeah, net P3, yeah.
Oh, Nash is flying. He's already took the second out overtaking.
Yeah, I'm just watching this fight between Shaggy now and Sky Schundelmeyer, who's having a good little scrap themselves.
With Darren Yeo.
Yeah, Darren Yeo. Do you know what? Fair play to Darren. He had a terrible Zolder, but has had a good comeback here at Nurburgring.
The only downside with the livery though is asymmetrical, and I really don't like asymmetrical liveries. I like symmetry in life, especially on a racing car.
Tips pretty much pushing Shaggy there out the final corner. I say Tibbs, Sky Schundelmeyer, should I say?
Yeah. Alex Pound's in the pits. No idea why.
He's not had a very good night compared to Zolder, and Sky's tapped Shaggy. Sky's tapped Shaggy. Darren Yeo's gone through. Oh.
And that's the end of it. No, another. Tell you what, another quiet night for Paolo.
Yeah, he's quietly gone about his business. Moved up to P13.
Yeah, I believe that's Shaggy to the side of the road. He's just gone past. Yeah, he is. The Hoffner's not.
Oh, Shaggy's got bad damage. Now, what has Shaggy hit?
The wall, maybe? Or
no, he didn't go that far off.
Unless he lost it coming back on the marbles.
Possibly so. What a shame.
2.5 seconds to the lead. Got lap track effect of, I believe that's Clouden in front.
So it is Overtaker who leads from Nash with Dan Davis P3, Graham P4, Gary Leach P5. Then it is Clauble, Simon Blair, Joe, who's now 6.8 behind Simon Blair, but at 2 minutes a lap nearly. He's just running out of time. Ramy Fernie P9, Sky Schundelmeyer top 10. Darren Yeo is P11, he's 9/10 of a second behind him. Then it is Paolo de Hoffner, tech leader Shaggy with big damage. Then it is Luke, Jay Ward, P. Williams, Mike Matthews down in 19th trying to catch on the back of him. Borough Bex, Clouden, Andrew Taylor, Dennis Newman, Sam, Alex Powell, then Graham. So I think Graham Sutcliffe could get ahead of Alex Powell here, depending on when Alex starts moving.
If Alex doesn't move his car.
Yeah.
Soon, and well, that'll be another retirement to his name, won't it? Because still 10 minutes of the race left.
No, he's only had he's not had a retirement yet.
That'll be the first one with, well, the second one.
Park, if you remember, was wheel malfunction, and it just his wheel went off. If you remember, and it just stopped him.
Nash has been held up by traffic. He's dropped back by 3.1.
Shaggy's in the pits as well, so there goes Jay Ward, here goes Williams. Mike Matthews going to gain another place. Mike Matthews actually the closest fight on track to P. Williams. So for Williams here, you know, he's drove an alright race, but he's got Mike Matthews who's actually just going to fly past Williams there. That was very unusual.
Yeah. It's another ticket or yeah.
Driver of the day's gone up. Overtaker Darren Yeo, Sky Schundelmeyer or Gary Leach. They're the four people I think have had the best double race.
Oh, well, I know who I'm going to vote for.
Yeah, same here. Same. So Mike Matthews gone up to P17 now. So it's just a few more points for that championship leader to try and cling on to over the others. Looking for the closest fight. There's not really any happening at the minute. Graham is, I do believe, now on the same lap as Alex Powell.
Yeah.
Now, the next time round could be on the same lap as Shaggy. In fact, no, Graham is now past Alex Powell, so I believe that is job done for Graham. Shaggy's tumbling down the order. I think Shaggy's on his way out, so no, Graham will not be getting anything. Alex needs to get out of pit lane. And Simon Blair trying to catch on the back of Clauble. That's probably, in fact, no, Jay Ward on Luke.
Nash caught Sam up rapidly into the hairpin. Still struggling to get these back markers. Really are not yielding for blue flags very quickly.
Borough Bex trying to get on the back of Clouden. And I believe that is who Nash is then the next one to lap. Yeah, Nash. So Nash is just like Borough Bex, not Sam. And the next one for him is Clouden, but Borough Bex trying to hunt down Clouden, as Luke has got Jay Ward trying to gain on the back of him.
8 minutes. Will we get a battle for the lead right at the end?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. P. Williams is trying to get up.
Behind Luke.
Alex Powell still in the pits.
Ward with a heavily damaged rear end.
He has got a big damaged rear end, but he seems to be catching Luke quite a lot here.
This circuit favours for a more nimble car. The Aston ain't nimble car, really. Monza, that Aston's going to be brilliant. And the V12, so, too. Oh, that was joyous seeing that V12 scream down Monza.
Here comes Luke. Jay Ward on the back of Luke then. 0.6 of a second separating them down towards the hairpin. Gap's down to 0.4 now. It's for P16 and 15 on the circuit. Gap Nash to Overtaker is 1.9. I think Overtaker's got enough in the bag here to defend and know what he's doing over Nash. Nash didn't seem to have an answer. This will stop Nash's run of race 2 wins as well. And Ward's getting really close to the back of Luke here, who, let's not forget, had that qualifying ban. So he's doing all right in P15, to be fair, Pierre.
He is. He's roughly halfway up the field, isn't he? So, and Daz is doing better in P11.
Yeah, Daz doing even better. P11. He's just lost out to Tibbs, Sky Schundelmeyer a little bit here. No real battles on track. Ward's got within 0.3 now.
Joe's within 4 seconds of Son and Blair.
Yeah, but I just think that as Joe's strategy was P3. He's lost 5 places because of the pit stops.
And Blair's 2.5 seconds behind Crabble.
I don't get Joe's strategy. Here comes Ward. Luke goes to defend the inside line. Gets it turned in. Ward can't find a way through there. Tries to come back to the outside line of Luke. That's the wrong way to go through turn 2. Now looks to follow him through 3 and 4. Maybe set himself up through turn 5. Right up the rear wing of that Aston Martin is Luke. Is Ward now.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, he can smell the exhaust fumes even though the exhaust is on the side on the Aston, not on the rear because it's a front engine car. Well, front mid engine because it is as far back as they can get.
Ward's gone very wide through 6. Nearly into the gravel. How he didn't put a wheel in the gravel there, I do not know, but manages to keep it going.
Yeah, as they charge down towards the hairpin, Luke's defending by placing his car in just about the right place. As they now power up towards the Schumacher S, and that's a terrible camera angle. Into the lead's down to 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, keeping an eye on the lead. Ward on the inside, huge send it!
That was a lunge.
Well, that's not come off. Yeah, that was crazy there. 1.19. Nash to Overtaker.
That was a lunge.
They've got Mike just in front of them, to be fair. Not far in front.
Clouden's now within 0.8 of a second. Oh. P. Williams has run off and gone wide, and Clouden's passed.
Clouden pass then. Ward and Luke, while they're still fighting. Mike Matthews is only 12 seconds behind, but that looks a lot of work for Mike Matthews to make up. Jamie in the chat, do we reckon Joe... I can't quite tell what it says.
Inspiration.
Oh, took inspiration, yeah. No, I just think Joe did what he did on the PS5 version last season and changed his tyres. It worked for him. I think now he's got much quicker drivers on the grid and it's not doing the same thing, Pierre.
No, 0.8 of a second for the lead.
0.8 of a second for the lead of the race. Absolutely fantastic so far. We're currently on the battle for the lead. Nash driving well to try and take a third win in race 2. Yet to see the best of Nash in race 1, but he's always been dominant in race 2 as well. Tonight, he's not had it his own way, PN, has he? Overtaker's been a match for Nash this week.
He has. But got lap traffic right in front of Sam, and...
Is that Sam? One of them's Mike.
Yeah.
No, that's not Sam. That's... Oh, no, it is Sam. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Aston with a white bag.
Sam out of the way. Did he stay out of the way for Nash? Yes, he did. 0.6 of a second. Oh, there's probably going to be 2 laps after this as well.
Yeah. Oh, and Mike's the car in front.
Championship leader about to be lapped. He's not had a great race tonight. He's not had a great week as Mike Matthews.
He'll be glad to see the back of
He will be glad to see the back of the Nurburgring, I reckon. I reckon you're absolutely spot on.
Well, it could have been worse here at the Nurburgring. What else is the Nurburgring well known for? It falls from the sky.
Yeah, the rain, it could have been much worse. Speaking of rain, there is none at the moment for Imola next week. You watch, the only races that will be wet will be Alton Park, Silverstone, and we already had Donington.
Yeah,
typical British weather. Right, 3/10. Nash to overtaker. Nash looking interested now. Joe's within 9/10 of Simon Blair. Mike keeping well out the way of this. He does not want to be involved in this at all.
2 to go.
2 to go indeed, and it is Nash versus overtaker. Dan Davis not even in this picture.
Yeah, it's 2 to go. It's on. Car 14 from car 44. We got it's Fernando Alonso versus Lewis Hamilton. If it was the F1 numbers.
It's overtaker versus our Nash.
Can you imagine Hamilton? Actually, yeah, Hamilton would drive a pink car, wouldn't he?
Dan, 11 seconds off the back. He's not had the pace of the front 2 all race here. Dan has just not been with it for this one. Joe's got... no, Joe hasn't got past. He's dropped off the back of Simon Blair. It's gone back up to 2 seconds. With 2 to go then.
Ward's back on the back of Luke.
Alex Powell stayed in the pit lane. So if he hasn't done 3/4 of the race, that'll be a retirement. Because he stayed in the lobby.
Yeah.
And he's got to do 3/4 of the race for staying in the lobby. We've already had a retirement in Sherry.
Oh, that was a touch. That was the slightest touch from Ward on Luke, and that was definitely a touch. It could have been netcode, but...
Well, they're just up the road from this battle. Just up the road as well. Mike really ought to be trying to stick with these battles, because if there is another lap, Mike's got a chance here to get a, you know, have a lunge and an attack, but he's not. Tech Leader's just got ahead of Ward, that says. No, sorry, Ward's got ahead of Luke, that says on my screen.
Yeah, he has. It looked like that Ward gave Luke a little shove to get out of the way. 24
seconds. Nash versus Overtaker. Overtaker has a moment on the curb. Nash goes deep at the final corner. Overtaker holds a tighter line. Manages to hang on to it in the end. But now they're looking racy. And with 13 seconds left, the leader is now on the final lap. It is Nash versus Overtaker here. And what is this going to produce? But an absolutely fantastic display of racing from both these drivers. Nash to the outside of turn 1 once again. And just cannot get it done. Overtaker's gone deep on the exit. Nash looks to have a run up at turn 2. Can he go the longer way around? No, he can't. Tucks the car back up behind. Just dips the wheel on the grass. That'll lose some momentum. Now looks on the inside at 3. Doesn't get it done again there. Overtaker parking the car. Was there a bit of contact? Overtaker's rear end definitely stepped out. And now the race lead is heating up, PN, just like you thought it would at the very end of this race.
Should we add another 15 minutes?
No. I think there's a few drivers that will turn around and give you a few expletives for adding an extra 15 minutes.
I don't think Joe would be one of them.
No, I don't think Joe would, because Joe's got a chance here of catching on the back of Simon Blair and getting past him, and P7's all Joe's going to be. But, you know, for what is going to be an extra couple of points, he's lost out more by losing the 4 places in the pits. Here we go, though, for the final couple of corners. We come up towards the Schumacher Esches. There is Overtaker. There is Nash coming through left and right. Oh, Overtaker steps out! How has he held on to that? Absolutely fantastic bit of driving from Overtaker. And all of a sudden, things start to look interesting. We come, though, to the final couple of corners. Has Overtaker just done the double?
Has he got Mr. Train right?
I think so. Nash going to have a look at ascend at the final corner. It's not going to happen. So Nash's runs of race wins comes to an end. It's going to be a double race win. He'll equal Gary 131. Overtaker wins from Nash. Dan Davis is going to come through for P3. He has not been in the races in this second race at all. Not his night in this race too. Dan Davis comes across for P3. Graham will take a fantastic P4. Good outing for Graham on his first race. Well, technically second race. P4 for Graham. We go to Gary Leach, who looks like he's going to come across P5 ahead of Clarbel. Yeah, not a bad night for Gary 131. Clarbel P6. Good result for him. Did Simon Blair hold off Fury? No, he didn't. Simon Blair 8th. Joe will be 7th.
Here come Smoky Devil, Raimi Fernie.
Raimi Fernie P9. Good result for Raimi. Sky Schundelmeyer looks like he's going to come across the line P10.
A very battered looking McLaren. Oh,
very battered. Very, very battered. Darren Yo, good night for him. P11. Great P11, result for Darren Yo. Really is a good one. Paolo, he's a little
P12.
Further back down the order so we can update some other results. Mike Matthews crossed the line 17th. Clouden 18th. Borough Becks P19. Paul Williams was 20th. Andrew Taylor 21st. As here comes Paolo, that is going to be a P12 for him. De Hoffner P13 in that lovely Aston Martin. And then we get Tech Leader 14th. Ward P15, so we can just update Tech Leader's points. Alex Power we're going to put down as 26th for now. That'll obviously be down to the admins to discuss. Joe as well, by the way. Fastest lap of the race. Who did we not put in there? So we didn't get the result of Dennis Newman. He was P23.
P23. Sam P24.
Shaggy was P22. Sam was P24. Luke was P16. And I believe just Graham, yeah, it was P25. Well, what an absolute fantastic race. What does that do to the championship? It gives Overtaker his 29th race win here at SimPlay Motorsport. That ties him with Gary Leach. And obviously he won his 100th race earlier in the evening. Fantastic night for the Overtaker and the McLaren boys, who take another race win. That stopped Overtaker's hours tonight as well. Stopped Nash's run of pole positions. He's also stopped Nash's run of race 2 wins. So that is great to see. So Overtaker, Nash, Alex, and the other race winner was Dan Davis. So that makes it 1, 2, 3, 4 winners in 6 different races. Great to see, but the championship looks a little like this. Dan Davis now leads the championship, 5 points clear of Overtaker with Nash 14 behind. Mike Matthews goes from 1st to 4th, 19 points off the back. Gary Leach P5 with Joe up into 6th. Raimi Fernie P7, Sky Schundelmeyer P8, Clouden is P9 with Simon Blair rounding out the top 10. Alex Power drops to 11th with Paolo 12th. Luke 13th. Darren Yo up to 14th place. Good race night for him. Sherry P15, Dennis Newman up 16th. Graham Sutcliffe P17, Andrew Taylor P18, Borough Becks is 19th with Clarbel 20th, Sam 21st to Fizz 22nd, De Hoffler 1 point behind him, Den Brave is 24th, Cutius 25th, Graham, New Graham 26th with Williams, Losser, Tech Leader Costa, Shaggy, Ward, Muller, Marshall and Gowney. Constructors, SimPlay Racing 78 points ahead of BTC Jaeger. BTC Jaeger have really closed the gap on them tonight. Haggis Munchers P3 with Button Basher Racing P4, JB Racing in 5th, Effect Motorsport down to 6th. Then it is Ottinger All-Stars, 2 Oldhams Red Rum, Greasy Bandit Team FBR Stage 2 BDM Motorsport. Manufacturers, McLaren 381 points clear of BMW, with Lamborghini, Ferrari, Porsche, Mercedes, Aston Martin, Bentley, Audi, Honda bringing up the rear. We are joined in the commentary box by second and third. We really need to get the Discord sorted out for us to do a chat with the Xbox guys. We can start though with Dan Davis, if he is there. Dan, can you hear us?
Yep.
Brilliant. again, it's another week where we sit here and sort of say, race 1, not your night, race 2 on the podium.
Yeah, just don't know, just yeah.
You can clearly tell the frustration is there, Dan.
The car just drove terrible. I mean, we've been testing in a different settings for God knows how long. It's been set at this current state where it's night and 2 degrees cooler, and my car just felt terrible. I also had engine damage.
Was that the problem in the second race? Because obviously we've seen you in testing all week look really quick, and tonight it just didn't seem it.
Yeah, the pressures was way too high in one side. My engine went yellow as well, so I was carrying engine damage. Yeah, and I don't know how I got engine damage, I really don't. But yeah, it's just the sprint, people were just doing stupid things, and yeah. And then I tried recovering. I was making beautiful moves left, right, and centre, and doing really well. I touched one curb, and then I know it's not the Hoffners and whoever the Lamborghini's fault is, but it's just like I'm in the yellow flag. I'll do what the rules say, and they just plough straight into me. Yeah. So it's a night that I should have done well. On paper, this is like a track that I've gone well at, but the car just didn't want to comply. The drivers seemed to just not know where other cars were, and just throw it away. And honestly, when you said that I was leading the championship, I don't know how. I did complete the race, by the way. I just had 4.5 minutes.
Yes, no, we did see on your stream, so you did score points for that race. Don't worry.
Yeah, and tonight was just a bad night for me and Mike. It's just one thing after another. So we throw away Nurburgring and back to normal times, where hopefully the server is exactly how it should be in the race. But I don't know, I'm trying too hard. I want to try and catch Nash and overtake her, but it's just not happening. And I think I just need to stop testing so heavily.
Stop testing so heavily. One of the problems, possibly, again, like you say, the server settings possibly being wrong, maybe affecting you on the night.
You know, racing car driver excuses, isn't it? Try and blame someone else before you blame yourself.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It was just me. I think I put too much pressure on myself, knowing that I could do the lap times I was doing, and just didn't deliver
if I remember you saying, Dan, I think you said last night off air, you know, watch me go and mess it up tomorrow night. You know, so you kind of already had that sort of thought in your head. We do move to Imola, though. We go to Italy. From the looks of the weather, I looked just before the end of that race. It looks like it's going to be similar to today, cold and cloudy. What can you do around Imola? A bit of a different circuit to what we've had tonight.
Well, Nurburgring, I've gone well around, but I don't particularly like it. Imola's the other way around. I love Imola, one of my all-time favourites. So I do like racing there. I prefer racing it on the Porsche. I just have some way of being able to attack the curbs in the Porsche around there, but in this I have no idea what to expect. I want to get to the lap times that Nash are doing, but that means doing heavy testing, but as I'm heavy testing, I'm putting too much pressure on myself, so I don't know, we'll just go into it as it is. Overtaker done a fantastic job tonight. He's finally taken the fight to Nash. Someone had to. I was hoping it was going to be me, but it's just not happened tonight, but it is what it is. And a moment as well into the pit lane, and just the rear just did not want to comply and nearly had an accident, so into the pits we went.
Yeah, Dan, I suppose move on to next week. Well done tonight, and we will see you next Wednesday for the Pro-Am.
Yeah, well done to Overtaker, fantastic job. Nash as well on the second place, and Fury gave me a hard time as well, so tops for him. I don't know why he changed tyres, but yeah. Shouldn't really be third, it should be Fury, really.
Well, either way, well done, Dan. We now move to your double race winner, and Overtaker, you said off air that you wasn't really looking forward to tonight. We put the dramas of Zolder behind us. We look to the jubilation of Nurburgring, your 100th race, your 29th race win.
Mate, when you've told me before the race that this was my 100th at SimPlay, I just put it in another gear. So this one's for you, mate.
Thank you very much. We knew that you told us all week, you told us during sort of practice tonight as well, that you were struggling here. You didn't have the pace. You couldn't seem to go well. It came all together.
Yeah, it's, I guess, one of those nights. Yeah, like you said, all came together. Sprint race. I know no one wants to have a crash or anything. You all want to be clean, but at the end of the day, with the reverse grid and the format we're driving, you just gotta be lucky. No other way around it. You can be as careful as you like, and you can get in other people's incidents. So I guess I was lucky into the race one, I have to say. Yeah, for the qualifying, I don't know where that lap time came from, because I've never been into 53s ever. So I don't know, maybe it was just the 100th race, like you said before, and the car complied with me.
Obviously, we remember back to last season, you went quite well, if I remember it, Tim. Well, I don't think I was there for that one, but remember you saying how well you did around there last season. You took the fight to Ripper. So Imola, a favourite to yours. Can you do it again this time in the McLaren and continue taking that fight to Nash and Dan and the others?
It's hard to say, because I have to say Nash really made me sweat for this one. I was on my toes from practically lap 1 to the lap, I don't know, 24, to the last corner. Into the last lap, my tires was completely gone. I was sliding and spinning because I was pushing so hard, and maybe he even saved me, because I lost the rear into the Schumacher S's. I went to the gravel because I was too aggressive, and he actually put up my rear correctly because he gave me a slight tap, and so I need to thank him as well. But yeah, congrats to him. He made me sweat for that one. And I knew, like you said, for Imola, right? You all know that these cars have different pace around every track. And for this track, the Lamborghini was a heavy favorite, according to lap times. And for Imola, it's a different story, because the McLaren holds the record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm not going to be anywhere close to it, but I think it's into the 48s. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to Imola. It's one of my favorite tracks there is. So I'm just trying to enjoy the races.
Well, overtaking.
That's the way it goes.
Congratulations tonight. Congratulations on obviously the 100th appearance and the 2 race wins. In terms of driver of the day, the fans' vote goes the way of Darren Yeo. Surprisingly, Overtaker didn't get a vote for driver of the day by the audience, even though he took 2 race wins.
What?
So I'm going to start it now. For the commentator's point of view, I'm going to give Overtaker driver of the day. Fantastic to see. Great racing all out. Look forward to Imola. It's going to be fantastic. PN, driver of the day, and final thoughts?
Well, my driver of the day, because I voted in the chat, is Darren Yeo. So, yeah, Nurburgring was interesting, to say the least. Looked like it's going to be a lot warmer for Imola, so that's going to be nice. So, yeah, but let's move on to another quite narrow but excellent circuit.
Narrow but excellent circuit indeed. Another historic one that we go to next week in Italy. Then it's going to be fantastic. You can catch Dan Davis bring all the Pro-Am action live next Wednesday night from Imola, and myself and PNMotorsport will be back live next Thursday evening, 8 p.m. GMT for both of those. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, the bell to be notified, and that thumbs up button if you enjoy what you see here. We'll be back live next week as we head to Italy before the halfway stage of the season. Overtake a double win, managing to take the fight to Nash, but Dan walks away the championship leader. Good night.
Right.